早くしなさい。オーケー。
I'm up here.
Everybody sit down.
Greetings, Gun.
I said sit down! Now, you know how I don't like to use the sit-down gun, but this morning we just don't have time for mucking about. Major Allied cities have come under attack.
Nazis?
Close your mouth.
Hello, and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Eric Draven, the Crow, here for this stream. It's going to be a short stream, but I figured I would just pop in, see what everybody was doing, since it's Halloween 2024, you know? And just, you know, wreak a little vengeance. You know, sometimes, you know, when a soul gets trapped in this world kind of thing, you know, you gotta get some vengeance. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're out here, we're taped up, we're ready for battle. You know, we're full of bullet holes. We've got the ring, our precious, you know, and that's just how it is. How you doing, Edwin? What's going on? You know, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna drink this and just chill out. There's not gonna be any art or anything happening here. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I like it that way. You know, I could eat popcorn. I could, you know, do whatevs. But yeah, so that's what's going on today. Nothing. You know? Just chilling. And that's it. Yeah, I'm just super bored, you know, and I don't have any art plans. I might play some games or something later, or watch a movie, but I'm not going to stream any of that. Not really thinking about streaming anything like that. You know how it is, you know? But yeah. That's what's up. You know, can't rain all the time. Shelley Webster, yada yada yada, you know. All that fun stuff, right? You know, crow things. Insert crow thing here. You know? Exactly. See, yes, this is why I've had the Shelby wig. The crow biz was the entire reason for the Shelby wig. You are correct, right? The Shelby, the making fun of Shelby was just a bonus, right? Like that's, you know, that is it. It's just the icing on top, right? You know, and so put a hat on. This is disturbing. Come on now, you know. I'm not putting a hat on. That's not how this works, right? Like this whole thing doesn't work that way. He doesn't wear a hat. You don't like how you can't see my eyebrows. What? They're blended in, right? The makeup blends them in. It's just the way it works, right? That's how the Crow makeup works. That's how it is in the Brandon Lee movie. You know, if you're going Mark Dacascos or any of those other guys, get out of here. Get. You know. I could be quite out of touch with reality, Noah. It's true. You know. But yeah, you know, we're full kitted up. My camera is taking some of it in the background, but we're taped up. We're ready to go, Noah. I'm like I would be very enticing to your goth handicapped girlfriend. You know. No razor blades in my stickers. I didn't go trick or treating. Oh yeah, and you know, see the clean shave here is the thing, right? That was also why I was slowly trimming down the beard, right? Just to kind of get into this, you know? But yeah. My eyes sit far up on my face. My nose is right here. That's not how that works. Right? And like the makeup alters the face shape. You know what I mean? Just how it works, right? It changes points, right? Because your forehead right here appears sunken in now when it's actually not, right? Where your eyebrows are. It's a trick. It's a trick of the light. You know? My mouth isn't this long either. You know? So, just how it is. But yeah, you know. I have no idea how long the stream is going to be. I just felt like doing it, you know? I could have made shorts. I could have done whatever. You know how it is. No, I don't want to cry and have my mascara. This isn't mascara. This is cream. This painted face cream. And then the other stuff is grease. Grease makeup. You know, look at it, Noah. Look at it. It's incredible. Right? It's just how it is. You know? Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Right? Like the movie Grease or Greasers? Greasers. You know? Because I could do any and all of those things. Right? Yeah. Because in the movie, he gets shot up and heals, but his clothes don't heal. Right? Well, see right here, Noah. I've got what you would call a side V. This is like the side V-neck, right? And then these are the bullet holes. So you look down here, and then the ring, right? Shelly's ring. I don't know. Just how it works. It's just how it works. Listen, just how it is. Some people, you know, don't know what they're missing. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Yeah. Yeah, I got some shoulder. You're getting some shoulder, everybody. You know? I can't help it. So yeah, I thought about playing a game, but I don't want to be here long enough to play a game. You know? No, it is just a blue, oh wait. It's just a blue drink. Like a Mio. It's like water with like Mio. You know? It's flavor, but hydration. You know, the crow needs to stay hydrated. Even though he and everybody else around him is dead. He still needs that solid H2O. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it's for whoever wants to drink it. It's not in the ladies section of the store. You know? So, I'm not sure. Yeah, he dies at the start of the movie, and then his spirit comes back to life so he can get revenge. He's dead. He's technically dead through the whole movie. Right? His soul just won't leave the world until he finishes what he has to do. Right? That's just how it is. That's just how the crow works. That's it. Right? Like, do you not know what the crow is? Right? Yeah, right? Like, he dies, and then he literally crawls out of his own grave. Remembers everything that happened, and then goes and kills everybody who wronged him and his wife. It's just how it is. No, Brandon Lee did die during the making of that film. And most of it was shot anyway, and they just had a few They had like a stuntman come in and finish some of the stuff, like all the ending and all that was shot, and a lot of that stuff like that was done. Hello, Tech Zombie, how you doing? Yeah, as you can see, you know, it's Halloween. We're just having a chill stream, you know, for I don't know how long it is until I get bored and go do something else. But I'm not going to do anything really exciting except sit here as the Crow for 20 minutes or an hour. Yeah, you know. But who can say? I am live, CJ. How you doing, CJ? What's going on? You know? Good to see you. How you doing? You know? Are you dressed up, CJ? Is that what's going on? Are you Halloween streaming? Because I'm only going to do this for a short period of time. And then, you know, move on and do something else. It's all gone. It's all. I'm completely clean shaven, CJ. I shaved it all off. Right? Yes, CJ could dress up as Tony Soprano. He could be dressed. He could be dressed as Tony Soprano right now, but you would never know because you just see Tony's hands. Right? Like that's the real thing that's happening. You're dressed as a sexy mofo tonight. Are you doing anything tonight, CJ? Are you streaming? Doing anything fun? Or is it just a chill Thursday evening for you? You know? Because that's what it is for me. I'm just chilling out, you know? And I wasn't going to do anything, and then I was like, I should just do something. But I don't feel like sitting here, because, you know, as you can tell, no glasses on. None. So I'm not going to sit here and draw or play a game for an extended period of time with no glasses on, right? So, you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to live. I'm just saying, or I'm just asking the question. I guess that's the thing. I'm asking the question, like, what is CJ doing? What's the haps? You know, how you feeling? Hope all is well, you know, or as well as it can be, kind of thing. Yeah, you know, that's just it. We're just, you know, we're full garbed. We're ready to go. You know, that's how it is. I'm just literally bored out of my mind, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And so, yeah, I'm gonna stream, kill some time, you know, and do whatever. Later on, maybe play some Fortnite, you know, maybe kill a hobo. I don't know. You know, that's it. That's all there is to it. You know, nothing, you know, serious or exciting. You know, just being the Crow. Just being the Crow. Did he sing a lot? I don't think he did. He played the guitar. You know, he hung out. He chilled. You know. Yeah. I don't even think... He didn't eat during the entire movie. Because he was dead. Right? So, you know, you really got to commit to the bit when you're going to be the Crow. Right? Right? Like, if I pick up this bag of popcorn and I start eating it, then I'm no longer the Crow because I've craved food, right? It's what plants crave, and I don't know if I should have that. You know? That's it. That's all. The popcorn has seed oils. No, it's got butter on it, dude. We're good. It's just pure butter and popcorn. And it smells amazing. Just holding that bag up smelled amazing. I don't even know. You know? Yeah, you know? Like, I'm out here. I'm getting ready to run the roofs tonight. You know? Take down a gang. You know how it is. All these ladies know. No, definitely not doing that. Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, there's potential. There's potential to have a drink, but there definitely will be no getting drunk. I'll tell you that for free. You know. So what are you doing tonight? Why aren't you streaming, Noah? You know? You don't even have a costume, which is a shame in and of itself. Really? You know? But yeah. Honestly, I'm personally both surprised and impressed that there are 5 people willing to watch this nonsense right now. I sort of respect it, in a way, in a weird way. You know? But that's how it is. Oh, you're 3D modeling and might draw the mini comic or do more. All right. I guess that's true. I guess that's what a responsible young adult would do. Right? They would get some work done. You've raised a good point here. Maybe I should be doing something other than this, right? Maybe it's me who's wasting the time. Damn. The mouths of babes. I see how it is. You can drink. Yeah, exactly. My arms are here. Look. You know, the arms the arms are here. They're there. I don't know what to tell you. You know, that's just me. A guy with 2 arms. You know, vengeance in his heart and revenge on his mind. You know, just how it is. Because at the very start of the thing, there's a like a theater mask, and it's on his wife or his fiance's desk. He was gonna marry her, blah blah blah. And that mask is on the desk, and it's has this on it, and he paints that on his face, and then goes and starts murdering the gang that, you know, killed him and assaulted his wife. And yeah, you know, goes on a nice little murder spree. You know, fights a crime boss. You know, watches the city burn. It's a good time. It's like, okay, you know how John Wick starts, right? Where they kill his dog. Well, it's kind of like John Wick, except it's his fiance. Right? Like, it's literally the same type of movie, except John Wick doesn't die, but the crow dies. Right? Like, he gets tossed out. He gets, like, I believe he gets shot and then tossed out the window. And so, yeah. You know, so he dies at the start and then comes back. You know. Yeah, mimes. Listen, the murder mime is a quality killer, right? He's a man who makes murder. And, you know, I respect that. I respect the murder mime. And I'm all about it. You know? Still got 2 arms. Don't worry about it. I got another gem cover in the mail. That's exciting. I'll do more gem sketch covers. Because that's what everyone demands, apparently. That's my niche. My niche in life. Is to make gem-based art. Because apparently not enough people are doing that. So I'm going to fill that hole. You know what I'm saying? Girls? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. You know? So yeah, I'm just filling time, you know, seeing what's going on. You know, I picked up these Friday the 13th sour candy cherry cleavers. You know, thought that was something fun. You know how it is. You know how it is. Yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time. So I've been streaming for a whopping 20 minutes. I might make it to the half-hour mark before I just kind of get completely done with this, right? And then just shut it off. Exactly. Exactly, Awesome One. Awesome One knows what's going on, right? He just got here and he's like, what's going on here? And I'm like, obviously I'm the Crow. This is the Crow. Listen, I can't help that you're watching other streams. That doesn't even make sense. Why wouldn't you be watching this stream? It actually comes off really quick. I took like a face thing and wiped it off. I had already done a test makeup, for the whole get up, just to see how, because there's the grease makeup and the cream, and I wanted to see which one wore better. And the grease one, it gets right thin on your face with, after a while. So I was like, Oh, thanks. I tried. I even got the ring. Got the ring. It's the whole thing. I haven't been wearing it for 24 hours. That's a far off dream. No, I did a little test thing, and I basically split the makeup right down each side of my face, the two different types, just to see which one wore better, because I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I didn't know if I was going to stream or make some videos or, do a sketch cover or whatever, right? Like I had no idea what I was going to do, right? Because most of the time the things happen kind of off the cuff, right? Where I'm like, hey, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do it? Am I going to waste the time? Am I going to just do it for fun? In a back room somewhere and just kind of chill out, talk to people, as the crow, make faces, But yeah, that, clean shaven for it. So that's kind of weird, but, that's how you do. That's how you do. But yeah. Yeah. No, I'm definitely not going to stream for 24 hours. Listen, sometimes you have to do things not for, yourself, right? You do stuff for other people. They, put a smile on their face, make it entertaining, that kind of stuff, right? Not everything is about you, right? Not everything is about that clout grab or that, like, I don't know, whatever it is people do here on YouTube, right? Like, my entire, like, interest and aesthetic for doing this kind of stuff is, like, I basically do whatever I want for the fun of doing whatever I want, right? Like, if I'm going to do a sketch stream, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to do a gaming stream, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to do an art book video, I'm going to do that. I'm not chasing any algorithm. I'm not worried about clout or whatever. The people who are interested in what I'm doing are going to watch it, and the people who aren't probably are not going to do that, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not worried about, chasing the algorithm or chasing the trends or whatever. I'd rather have fun. I'm almost living in World A. I would rather enjoy what I do and the people I do it with than chase a bunch of weird clout goblins who don't even like what they're doing half the time and just do it anyway because they think it's going to be successful for them, right? Like, fuck all that, So, yeah. And it seems to be working, Listen, Full Custom Hot Dog, how you doing, good sir? What's going on tonight? Yeah, I'm not that serious, I'm just beautiful. It's a different thing. Yeah, I'm doing great, Full Custom. I hope you all are also doing well on this fine Hallows Eve. Cloak Goblins, yeah, right? Like, you can steal it, CJ. It's right, like, but that's the thing. Like, I'm just I'm not interested in any of that. It's like, that's like the thing. Like, I don't go on other people's channels because I think it's like I'm going to get some clout out of it. I just go on because I like the people and I have fun with them, right? Like, I'm not going to go on people's channels and be like, oh, look at this. Like, I think this is going to help get me ahead. Just not worried about shit like that, right? Just, who cares? Just, if you're, like, that's the thing. Like, I think if you're having fun, if you're here, listen, I like all kinds of people, But my thing is like, you might as well just have fun with it, right? Like once you make this whole thing like, you know, a grind, and it's a grind anyway, right? Like even if you're just trying to, you know, get your 500 or 1,000 or whatever, to just to pull a little money in to make this kind of, you know, a little bit more interesting, right? Hello, Kirby, right? And so, well, I mean, the thing is like, is that fun? Is that fun chasing clout goblins? Because like, it's like all the drama streamers, right? And all the people who do that kind of stuff. If there's no drama, nobody fucking watches. So they're not your audience. They're your, you know, they're only there for the drama. So as long as you're feeding them bullshit drama, then they're there. But as soon as the drama goes away, they don't care, right? Hello, Locke. How you doing? Yeah, this isn't an art stream or anything like that. You know, I'm basically just chilling here as Eric Draven in this crow get up, you know, full of bullet holes and everything, you know, and just chilling out. Like, you know, we'll just chill for an hour or so, chat it up, see what people are saying, you know, and see how it goes. You know, I'm sure many people are baffled and bizarred by the lack of a facial hair and a beard and no glasses and the whole thing, right? You know, a hat. Where's this dude's hat at? Why is he not wearing a hat? Why are you so confused about it? You know, all these and many things will never be explained. Just know that as the crow, I'm here for vengeance. Yep. Why is he wearing pants? Who, the crow? Listen, why wouldn't he be wearing pants? I mean, I don't wear pants, right? So this is completely out of character. Yeah, right? Like, you know, I'm not ever wearing pants. No way. That's like, who would wear pants? Like, you know what I mean? Like, pants, like, socks are just tiny foot pants. Why wear them? Right? Like, that's the reality. Now, you wear pants outside. The second you walk into your house, the pants are gone. So are the socks. Everything just goes, right? And that's how real men live, Noah. They don't wander around wearing pants all day, getting hair in their mouth. You know? That's it. I could have been Ace Frehley. I could have been, you know, anybody from Kiss tonight, too. Man, what was I thinking? You know? You've worn socks for almost 24/7. It's delightful. Get out of here. Get out of here. See? Locke knows what's up. He's not wearing pants. Why would he? He's a real man. And men don't wear pants at home. Right? Like, you just don't do it. Why would you wear pants? It seems incredibly, like, illogical. Like, you want everything to be free. Right? Everything just needs to be hanging out there. Your feet stick. Are your feet sweating that much without socks on that they're going to stick to a hardwood floor? That's wild. Like, I don't even know what's happening here, right? Like, it's very bizarre, and I'm not sure I like it. I'm not sure I like where you're going with this. It's like Spider-Man. Do you have tiny hairs and sweaty feet that make you grip to the floor? Because I don't like that for you. I'm not a fan, you know? Yeah. That seems bizarre. I'm not sure why you're like this, Noah. See? CJ knows. Pants are overrated. He knows what's going on. He knows the why, the how, the haps. I mean, I don't think it... I mean, listen, I'm not jealous of your Timbas or your, you know, your lesbian jumpsuit that you put on every day. You know? Yeah, Bluey doesn't wear pants. Yeah, neither does Tom. Like, listen, Donald Duck doesn't wear pants. Neither does Scrooge McDuck. And Scrooge McDuck is one of the richest ducks on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you doing wearing pants when other people don't need to, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, America's Greatest Heroes are pantsless. Listen, Full Custom Hot Dog is raising some very valid points here. Like, I would subscribe to his newsletter. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about him. I like his newsletter. I like his ideas. And he does some great remixes too. You should check out his channel. If anybody's got a wrench in there, throw his link in. I don't know. You know, I don't know who's here. I don't know why they don't have a wrench. But listen, he's just a hot dog salesman selling hot dogs, and I like it. All right, well, if he doesn't have a wrench, just hold on a sec. I'll just hit this button, and then I will go to channel. And then I'll just go to videos, and then I'll put this here. I'll copy past it. Yeah, check out Full Custom's channel. He's got some good videos and some remixes and stuff like that on it. It's a good time. Yep. Yeah, listen, I can't help that. So's Angela. So's a whole bunch of other people. Yep, copy pasta. And so, yeah, you know, that's just how it is. Listen, if I gotta mod my own chat, so be it, right? I can't help it that these women are just running around doing nothing. Listen, I still want that Earthbound Beastie Boys fusion album that I heard that track from. That's what I want. That's what I want out of this life. That's what I want for the rest of the planet, right? And until that day happens, I don't think there'll be peace on Earth until that happens, right? I think Full Custom Hot Dog is literally holding the piece of the Earth in his hands, right? And so as long as he continues to deny us what we so deserve, like it's one of those things, like it's like we don't even know we need it, but once we get it, we will be like, where has this been our entire life, right? That taste, that taste that I got from that one track, I was like, oh, I need this. I didn't know I needed it, but then I realized I did, right? Like that's how it is. And so that's what I want. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for me. You know? Yeah. See, that's an awesome one. That seems like a you not fulfilling your end of the bargain. Whatever, like, okay, no, also, here, I'm going to say this awesome one. If someone is on a promotional stream, for example, if someone is promoting their book, please don't link my channel or my stream while someone else is promoting their stuff. It should be all about them, right? Like I appreciate the sentiment. Believe me, I appreciate it 100%. 100% appreciate it, but it's like a time and place kind of thing, right? Yeah, see, like link my OnlyFans, you know, my Only Crows, all that stuff, right? But just sometimes people are... Well, no, it's not that. Here's the thing. It's not that I don't want the here. Okay, let me explain. It's not that I don't want the channel to grow. I don't want people to be so annoyed every time they see people drop my link that they just are like, fuck this guy. Like, you know what I mean? That's my thing. I would prefer that the growth be a bit more organic, right? I'm over 300 subs now. It's just growing, it's steadily growing, you know, getting a couple subs here and there every other day. And it's cool. That's what I want. Like, right? Like I want people who are like-minded and into this kind of stuff to hopefully find it and enjoy whatever it is I'm doing here, right? And so, but yeah, I just like, I've seen it a ton of times where people spam, and it's not specifically you, Awesome, because I've seen before other people would just spam links of people they know, and then people just don't click on them or care about it anyway, right? And so I'm just like, it's kind of like a time and a place thing, you know? Well, see, but that's the thing. I'm not even worried about the political stuff or interested in any of that kind of stuff. Like some of that stuff comes up naturally, you know, just through regular conversation, right? But you're never gonna see me. You know, I mean, I did make a Sweet Baby Inc. video at one point because I just was like, hey, this kind of sucks, and it's kind of like the death of creativity. If you've got a bunch of like, you know, if you got a council of people coming in and saying what you can and cannot create. That is the death of creativity in and of itself, right? And so to some people, I guess that would be political, right? And why things like that are happening, right? You know, so that's my thing, right? So I think it's important to talk about stuff like that. You know, sure, why not? Right? Like it's part of the craft, right? Like you don't want your art, your design, your storytelling, any of that filtered, right? Like through a whole bunch of different lenses and a whole bunch of, you know, race cards and, you know, oppression Olympics and all this garbage, right? You want to basically create things that you think are missing in the market. And hopefully there are enough people that want that as well, right? So that's how you find your audience, you know. You know, and that's the thing, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It's very bizarre. I keep getting this piece of fucking hair in my mouth and it's driving me crazy. But anyway, you know, and so yeah, that's why I think about a lot of it. You know, but that's the weird thing too. Like, you know, you have a lot of people like that are kind of stuck on this weird drama politics loop. And it's just like, okay, but what's exciting or fulfilling about that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't see it. I would rather make something and put something out into the world that people are going to see and either be interested in or appalled by or whatever it is. That just kind of, you know, regurgitate politics, you know, regurgitate other people's ideas instead of having your own, right? Like, I think that's kind of part and parcel of why that the whole algorithm thing really sucks. Because it, like, you know what I mean? Like it really pushes content that most people aren't benefiting from. You know, they're either getting annoyed with it or upset by it. And they're not doing anything with that information, right? Like half the time it's rage bait, you get upset, and then you don't do anything about your being upset, right? It's like a weird, you know, loop that doesn't go anywhere, you know, and then you go like, oh, what's happening with this drama or politics? You get upset and then you don't do anything, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of the funny thing, right? Hello, K-pop. No, we're just talking about a bunch of different things. I was bored, so I decided to do a quick. Oh, zero. There's sans any bourbon. Just chilling, you know. But yeah, no, I was like, hey, I'm just gonna stream for an hour or something like that and see what's going on. You know. Listen. The side V. You know. This is how it works, right? This is the side V-neck, right? Like get hype. Get hype for all the V's, the C's, the D's, the G's. You know, oh, I better keep that off the nipple. I don't want to get the channel taken down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know. So anyway, as I was saying, you know, that's just how it is. Yes, listen. Listen, Full Custom. If I've got to badger you about that Earthbound Beastie Boys mashup for the rest of my life, I'm gonna. Right? Like, I need that in my life. That first track was awesome. I want that whole album. Right? And it doesn't even have to be that album. Listen, I will badger you. I will. I need that remix. Like, just do it. Yeah. Listen. Oh, yeah, that would be awesome, too, actually. Yeah, you're doing some sweet stuff, man. Maybe I will. That's a good idea. I might have a trailer coming up soon. Very nice. That is a good idea. Yeah, that's awesome. I will actually strongly consider that. Very nice. But yeah, have a good night, Full Custom. You know, get it done. What kind of conditioner do I use? Listen, I am a Pantene Pro V kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. Yeah. Yeah, no, so I don't think so. It hasn't been any streams, you know. But yeah. So that's pretty much it, you know. I'm just kind of chilling here, seeing what's up. You know, like I said, I don't plan on this being a long stream, right? Like, it's more just for fun. Even this was just for fun. You know what I mean? If it puts a smile on someone's face, then I'm cool with it. you know. So that's the important part. You know what I'm saying? Creative block. Really, you can stomach that show? Yeah. I mean, oh, that's good for you, awesome one. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. You would have pegged me for a Vidal Sassoon guy, man. So easy to assume that I'm a Vidal Sassoon guy. I get it. I get it. You know what I want to do, though? I want to, like, you know, you got a cheek or something like that where you want to scratch your face, but you know the second you touch it, this makeup is gone. It's like Back to the Future. It's gone. Yeah. Of course, if we don't look good, you don't look good. That's true, right? Like... It's very nice, you know? But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, any questions? Any questions for Eric Draven? Or whoever? I don't know. I'll take questions and I'll answer them. You know, you might not like the answer, but I'll give you the answer. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But yeah, the, oh, that's what I should open. Just because I can. Where did I set it? Ooh. Oh, now I don't know where I set it. That's kind of part of the problem. Is that Madeline? Do you mean Maybelline? No, it's like, hold on. I don't know what it's called. Whoop. Haha! You feel my shirt coming up. Look at that background. Just slides in, and then I just slip right in there. Woohoo! Don't even know if I have pants on or not. Excellent. All right. So, what I used was this Fantasy Menron cream makeup for the white, and it's kind of like has a tad bit of gray happening. And then for the black, I use this, was it Tinsley FX makeup for the black. You know? Oh, hey, Henry Bemis, how you doing? No, what are you talking about? We're fully crowed up here, Henry. We're ready to go. We've got the ring full of bullet holes, you know. It's just how it is, you know. Sometimes you got to mix it up, right? It's just how it is, you know. And I'm here to do that. But yeah, so what's going on with everybody tonight? What's happening with you, Henry Bemis? Yes. Okay. So as the movie progresses. As the movie progresses, and he gets shot, right? He's like this plain long sleeve that he's wearing has no bullet holes. But by the time he goes through and kills all these guys and is taking down this thing, he gets hurt. And so he's like, you know, he tapes up his waist and has like rope in it and everything, and tapes up his hands because he gets shot in the hand. You know, and so he tapes, you know, so we're fully, we've 100% committed to the bit, right? And that's important. Yes, I've seen some of those videos, CJ. I've seen some of that black tape. But myself, my black tape is purely, you know, for combat, right? Like, I'm ready to go. It's all here, you know. Exactly how it was in the film. You know, so we're ready. We're ready. You know. No, it's not. This is even whiter face, right? Like, you know, if you look at the skin tone and then you look at the face, this face, it's whiter face, right? You know, and I think that's important. I think it's important here, you know, because if the crow's face, you know, was completely black, like a crow is that still blackface or is that crow face? You know? Like, let's make crow face great again. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the best possible way to do it, right? So yeah, you know, I don't know. Just how it is. Yeah, it could be albino face, or, you know, whiter face, whatever it is, you know. But it's here, you know. You know, and I think you can take it all in. You know, let it wash over you. You know, because, you know, next time I stream, this won't be the attire. This won't be the getup, right? It'll be a lot less tape. You know, it'll be a lot less. Yeah. Going as one of the crows from Dumbo. Listen, that may well be. Will it be deleted? I'm not Noah. I don't hide great streams where people, you know, where bros talk about movies, women, and clothing. You know, I'm not that kind of guy. You know, that's just how it is. You know? Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty pointless stream, right? So if I don't keep it up, you know, I wouldn't get too surprised. I mean, we could have got like I said before, I could have been Ace Frehley. You know, could have been Ted Danson. You know, anything. You know, we could get a Rocky Horror vibe going. You know, we could do whatever. You know, I could play Goodbye Horses, and it could be a really different vibe. You know, that's what I'm saying. The crowd's so dead tonight. You think Creatures of the Night would be? Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. Everybody, like, you know, everybody's got shit going on. CJ, you know, as I'm sure you're aware, and everyone else is aware. You know, everything shit comes up. People got adult things to take care of. You know, and so they can't. They just might not be streaming as much as they should be. You know. Oh, hello, aggressively relaxing. You're hoping you could get the job as the kitty in the band Kiss, but the dude won't retire. That's funny. Henry is saying, my cousin is the longest-serving Frankenfurter at the Midnight Rocky Horror. Has been doing it since the mid-'80s. Oh, really? Interesting. Hey, Emo Trash. Oh, 10 out of 10 makeup. Well, thank you. You know, I'm doing what I can, right? Like, trying to get in there, trying to get my crow vibe on. And, you know, if you can make a person smile while you're doing it, that's all the bonus, right? You gotta get out there. You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta do fun things, and yeah, I have no problem with it. In your town, everyone was taking their kids to the rich part. Well, see, here's why you take people to the rich part of town, because they give out the full chocolate bars, the cans of pop, right? That's why you go there. You know, that's always been my experience. You know, when you take the pillowcase, right? Like, why take these little pumpkin pails when you're a kid when you can get a pillowcase? Who started the pillowcase? You know what I'm saying? You know, listen, 9 out of 10 hair. Oh, I thought it was 10 out of 10. What's funny is I almost cut it because his hair is actually a bit shorter in the film. But then I was like, if I cut it, it'll likely go poof and be like way big, like on the sides of the head. And I was like, I don't want that, so I'd rather have it hang, right? Oh, the mama's following with wagons, little red wagons. That checks out. I like that. I like that about them. You know, but like, listen, you gotta respect the mom who's willing. Yeah, exactly. Like, whoever thought of using the pillowcase was a genius, right? Because A, you can fill it like crazy. B, they're really tough. Like, most pillowcases, they're not ripping that easy. They're, high thread counts. And so, yeah, it's just perfect, you know? Yeah, well, I mean, that's true too. Listen, Emo, I get you. Respect the moms who are actually with their kids, right? Like, just sending them out to slaughter, you know what I'm saying? Pumpkin faces in the night. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, that's but also like as a generational thing. Hey, Sumo, how you doing? Oh my, ooh, how you doing, Sumo? No, but like as a generational thing, that was what we did. Like I remember, like as a little kid, I would just get home from school, and I was like 11 or 12. I would just jump on my bike, drive to the mall, and then play like video games against like 18-year-olds and yell and curse at them that they were no good at video games. Right? That's how dangerously I lived. Right? Like, and so like I think as kids, like, like kind of the Gen X-y type generation just ran around in the woods and played guns, and like, like I broke my arm in like the 6th grade and had a big cast on it. And like within a week, I was jumping dirt bikes in a gravel pit, right? Like that's how I lived. Like I was just like, oh, let's go to a gravel pit and, jump dirt bikes, And so like we were way freer, like, and we had to self-police and all that kind of stuff, right? And so, yeah, I definitely think like the kids today, it's like their parents are like, put them in a bubble and don't let them do anything. And then I think that's a big part of the reason why they're so afraid of everything and why like words are violence, because they don't get any pushback, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah. Well, and that was the thing too. Like a lot of times when we were kids, your parents were literally like, don't come back till the lights come on. Right. And so once the street lights popped on, we were like, okay, I guess it's time to come home. Our parents will let us back in the house. They'll feed us supper and send us to bed. That's just the way it is. Make a quick stop at the grocery store, and then this. Listen, Sumo, this is just how it is. Sometimes you gotta do the full crow. You gotta clean shave in the face to do the makeup properly. It's just how it is. I regret nothing. I see a lot of people out there on their streams not looking this good. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking this good. They're not looking movie accurate. They're not looking like they've had to kill tonight. You know what I mean? And boy, I'm slaying. And that's how it is. Thanks, Emo. I do what I can. And I had to. Here's the thing. I did a makeup test beforehand. Emo, because I used 2 different kinds of. Oh, thank you. Hello, how you doing? No, but like anyway, like I did 2 different types of makeup just to make sure they would wear well. I had like the grease makeup on one side, and I had the cream stuff that I was showing off here on the other side. And I liked this stuff way more. It set better on my face, and I didn't have to do a bunch of things with it. And then the grease makeup that's like on my eyes and lips, it's just like, it literally feels like it's just floating on your skin. It's very oily. It's very, I'm very conscious of how wet the makeup is on my face, but the white stuff isn't, right? Ooh, Panera's. I would have a Panera. I had butter chicken tonight, which was really good, Chicken, rice, mushrooms, onions, some cheese on top of some... No ohuhu. No, there's no ohuhu that I do. Man, I keep tasting a piece of this hair. There it is. Okay. So, yeah. No, there's no art tonight. I did get another gem sketch cover in the mail today, though. So there is that. Look out for future gem sketch cover endeavors. Yeah, ohuhu is the alcohol markers. Yeah, I got... Hold on, I'll pick it up. This will give me a chance to do a different camera angle. Okay, so I've got these. This is the whole giant. I'll pull this down. And I think is it 2? Yeah, it's 2. All right. I feel like it's like weird. I feel like it's been a while since I streamed, but it hasn't really. So this is the 320 set of Ohuhus. You know, really good. What I want to do, and I haven't had a chance to do yet. I guess it's easier to do this way. Click on the buttons. Yeah. So there's these color charts for all the markers, and I need to go through it and do them, right? But I just haven't had time. I've had these for a while, and I've been using them, but I still don't, in my head, look at the marker and go, oh, that's what it's going to do on the paper, right? Because the pens themselves, the actual cap covers, are pretty inaccurate as to what it actually puts out. Like a lot of the ones, it'll look like it's like, oh, it looks like a powder blue, and then it hits the paper, and it's like really, a dark blue. So you have to kind of go through, do your samples before you start using them, and knowing what they are, right? And so, yeah, that's been a thing, just a time thing, right? So, J. Nay Neslem Fem. What? I don't even. Are you? Did you put a hex on me? Am I summoning a demon? What does that say? And I'm sending it to Noah? I don't even know what happens right there. Awesome One is off his meds like normal. Damn it. Yeah, exactly, Emo. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know, like, a lot of the base colors seem pretty accurate, like, if you're looking at a rose red or anything like that, and it's pretty accurate, but once you start getting into a lot of the secondary and tertiary colors, they're really nowhere near what they should be, right? Yeah, so it's one of those things where you definitely have to work with those, and especially with the 320 pack, it's going to take you a hot minute to actually get all them stuck in your head as far as that. But the cards would accelerate that artistic process and the knowledge that you'd need. So yeah, I don't know. It's just how it is, Yeah. What to tell you? What a season. I actually wanted to do more spooky stuff, with October. I was planning on doing some horror games and, stuff like that, like Evil Within or Tormented Souls, some cool video game stuff, right? That I thought would be really cool, since it's spooky month. But I'm thinking pretty strongly that I might do some more spooky stuff in November. Spookvember might be useful, right? What do you got there? Avocado oil, salt, and vinegar chips. Listen, I like the sound of that. Seems all right. Seems like a good time. But who can say? Oh. Well, that's the thing. Like, well, it's just so much time, and it's like one day. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, you watch most people watch a bunch of horror movies and stuff like that, building up to October 31st. But like, I just haven't had the time this year. Like the last few Halloweens that happened, I watched all the Friday the 13th movies, and then I watched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and then I watched all the Halloween movies, right? And then you kind of start getting into things like Chucky. You watch all the Chucky movies, and then you watch like all the Jeepers Creepers movies, you know what I mean? And you start just venturing out until you're at the point where you're watching Slacks. And it's about a pair of pants that are possessed by the soul of an Indian girl who murders all these people in a boutique fashion store. It's pretty good, Oh, your parents own it. All right. Are you talking about like house decorations and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, yeah, like let them do that. Sure, why not? They don't got to get in there. But yeah, like, and so, and I watched Wednesday, the Netflix series, which wasn't that bad. Here, okay, I'm gonna go on a weird tangent right now, right? So I watched that Wednesday show, not realizing that it's essentially a detective show set in a high school for creatures of the night. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But it was actually pretty good, had a really interesting story, except for the fact that from the jump, you kind of knew who the bad guy was. Right? Like they were playing it off like nobody knew and all this kind of stuff, but I'm like, it looks like the person they look alike. Like what? Why does nobody know who this monster is? Anyway, I'm not going to spoil Wednesday, but because it was actually decent. It was actually a decent series. I was kind of surprised. It was okay, right? I don't, because sometimes you expect things, you just kind of look at it and go, that's going to be trash. But no, it was all right. It was well written and well paced, but the reveal twist, whatever you wanted to call it, was pretty obvious, which I don't know. I don't know if you still but to get it, I guess it was the journey, not the destination. I don't know, but aside from that, it was all right. Costco never runs out of pies. That's true. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear something? You want to hear something weird? So there's a Walmart here, and if you're a sensitive viewer, you might want to leave now. You might want to jettison. So they have these things called walk-in ovens, where they put all kinds of pies and all kinds of rotisserie chickens and all that kind of stuff because, they're doing a bunch of them at one time, right? And so here somewhat locally, like, not super close to me, but locally enough that it was in the news and, places were talking about it. They found a girl the next day in a walk-in oven. Cooked. They don't know how she got there. They don't even understand how she was able to get in and it be on and the door close. Right? Because they have all these safety things and whatever. So pretty wild stuff, but it's current events and it's Halloween, spoopy. Exactly. Yeah, it's just a really weird story because, like, you're just like, how does that happen? Now, she wasn't flavored with anything, maybe in her own juices. I don't like, yeah. I mean, it's a horrible thing. Obviously, it's horrible. Horrible for her family and friends and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, but it's just like, how does that happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, how does that happen, right? And so, yeah, I just was like, what the hell? Like, when you heard about it, I was like, whoa, that's not cool. I'm not I'm not a fan of that because it seems like foul play. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like incredibly hard to actually, when it's on, open the doors. It has all these security locks and all that kind of stuff. And B, to be in there when it would be turned on also seems to be really hard. So somehow something happened or someone put her in there. Or, like, who knows, right? Maybe she had some kind of anemia or something and fell. And then somebody who had no idea that she was in there closed the doors and turned the button on, right? Like, and started it up. So yeah, you know, like just a really crazy story. So I was like, whoa, what the hell? This was like a couple weeks ago or something like that. Like, you know, yeah, well, I mean, but I think I don't think that is as much a, you know, a Walmart thing as whatever that area is, right? Like, you know, if crack is big in that area, chances are, right? Like, you know, any people I see here at Walmart are like, you know, old people half the time, right? Working at Walmart. And so yeah, that kind of thing, right? So yeah, I don't know, you know. Yeah, well, big. Listen, you know, are you in the pocket of big Walmart and big crack? You know, big meth. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm just killing time here, right? Like that's kind of the thing. I just thought it'd be something to do for a little while, see what's up, see what's going on. You know, haven't streamed in a hot minute, but I don't really have anything to do, right? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have made up a sketch cover, I suppose. I could have done other things. You know, I could have drawn digitally, you know. So, I don't know, you know. You know how it is? You know how vengeance works, sumo. You know. And so, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, well, listen, Emo, I appreciate that. You know, you know, sometimes it's nice to be noticed. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all right. I'll take it. I'll take it where I can get it. You know. All jokes aside, you know, it's just for fun. It's just for fun. But yeah, like it's one of those things. Like, you know, the whole content loop gets you get kind of burnt out. Yeah, funsies, exactly, funsies. And so, you know, how many art book videos do I make? You know, how many video game whatever videos do you make? You know, how many sketchbook streams do you make? You know, how many? How many's enough? You know, and my answer is, I just do what I want when I feel like it. Like, you know, so if I want to do an art book video, I'm gonna. I do a video game video, I'm gonna. What's up, D-Wag? You know, and that's the thing, right? Like, you know, it's just how it is. Like, you know, I don't know. I kind of like, even if you go look at my channel header, right? It's basically about the things that inspire you to do work, that get you excited about the artistic process, right? And so if a video game gets me excited about the artistic process, I'm going to show that off, right? Hey, D-Wag, how you doing? If an art book gets me excited about the artistic process, I'm going to show that off, right? You know, if I feel like doing a comic book review because I really like the storytelling in it, or didn't like the storytelling in it, I'm going to do that, right? If I buy an arcade stick and I really like that arcade stick, I'm going to do a review on it. Because, you know, it's a $300 arcade stick and a lot of people are probably wondering how it is, right? And so, you know, like that's the kind of thing, like, I don't know. I don't want to get stuck just making the same shit, right? Over and over and over again, right? I don't want to get stuck making drama stuff and then your audience is completely based on bullshit you either have to be upset about or other things that other people are doing that have nothing to do with what you're doing, but you have to pretend to be upset about it, right? Like, nah, you know? My croats? No, I'm not. I'm just like, you know, like, what am I doing here with my time? What am I doing here right now, right? Like, I'm just vamping for however long I feel like doing it, right? And so that's the kind of thing, right? You know. Yeah, I am also sick of all the drama queens who are waiting at the door. Oh. You know. You know, the audio keeps pumping. For asking prices next to nothing. Take it or leave it. I still can't relate. you know? Yeah, all the drama queens, you know, waiting at the door. But yeah, like, it is a weird thing, right? Like, where people are just, like, farming this drama, right? And, like, either they're upset or pretending to be upset every day, every other day, about the most, like, inconsequential bullshit that you'll ever find yourself listening to, right? It's like, oh my god, so-and-so's book is late. Oh my god, so-and-so's this or that, or so-and-so voted this way, or so-and-so told somebody that they were a hot piece of garbage. Like, whatever, right? And it's just like, A, we're not all supposed to get along. It'd be cool. It'd be pretty tight, you know, if everybody got along. But, like, I find most people borderline retarded as it is, right? Like, so, at some point, right, like, at some point you have to, you know, for lack of a better word, and I say this all the time now, and I kind of like it because I feel like it, like, the word itself bothers people. And so I say gatekeeping, right? And I feel like you should actually gatekeep who you interact with, who you allow into your circles, your communities, whatever you want to call it. Because I feel like as someone who maybe 5 or 10 years ago would have considered themselves, well, probably 10 years ago, I guess, before everything kind of got weird, right? Kind of left to center, right? Like, and not politically per se, but just like, you know, left to center was kind of freedom of speech, artistic freedom, you know, things like that, right? And so that has kind of been pushed so far, like being someone who's like for free speech has become some kind of weird, like, right-wing talking point, which makes no sense to me because none of my opinions or ideals have changed. It's just that everybody else has pushed everybody to the side, right? And so now all the big yellers are way over here being big yellers, I guess, you know? And so, like, that's kind of the weird thing. And so I'm just like, I've always just been like hey, I'm gonna, if I feel like saying something and you don't like it, that's a you problem, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as, like, you know, freedom of speech type things go, right? Freedom to express yourself. You know, because I always feel like most people choose to get offended. They're not really offended, like, but they want to be offended about things, so they're, you know, getting all up in their fee-fees about somebody saying something, and you're just kind of like, really? Does that bother you? Does that bother you that, you know, I said X, Y, or Z, you know? And so, yeah, like, because, I mean, most of the time, people, you know, exactly, let's get in the pocket of Big Yeller. But no, like, most of the time, you know, most people's opinions don't matter, especially to you in your life, right? And sometimes, like, you know, people will be like, oh my god, you said something that was really important or effective, and it changed the way I thought about something. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. You know, like, that's cool that, you know, you looked at something differently, or were open enough, you know, as a person to hear something and actually take it in, right? Like, a lot of people don't have conversations anymore. They just talk back and forth at each other. They just, you know, I say something and then it goes over their head, and then they just say the words that they wanted to say back, right? And there's no real actual conversation or computing of the words that are coming out of the other person's mouth to have a back and forth proper conversation, right? Like, I feel that nuance and that, like, ability to take in that input, that data, seems to be getting lost on a lot of people. And so it's really hard to find people you can actually have a conversation with that isn't, like, surface level, right? Like, about just nonsense bullshit. And so, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody's really dumb under a certain age. It seems like, you know, and hopefully there's some hope for it. Like, there's a weird pocket where it seems like people under that age seem to be a little bit more less tolerant of bullshit in some weird way. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's kind of that thing where you see a lot of 30 under 30s who are really fragile and have you know, they can't have any of their opinions challenged in any way, shape, or form, right? It's very bizarre. Did you waste perfectly good electrical tape for those hand wraps? Seems irresponsible for someone renovating a house. Listen, these, wait, there we go. These were, yes, the tape was bought specifically for this. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, electrical tape comes off pretty easy, and it stretches, right? So if you're wrapping your hands and you don't want to cut off the blood circulation, it stretches. It actually has give, you know, I'm not sitting here, you know, I could be playing a game, you know. Yeah, attention to the detail, see? Listen, you know, like all these holes are bullet holes and stuff that he actually got, you know, in the thing. Whoa. Use electrical tape for your facial hair. All right. I see how it is. Like, you know, I use a razor for mine. I mean, I won't be for a while after this, right? As soon as this makeup comes off, you know. Listen, Emo, would you like to subscribe to my newsletter? It's all about hot hair and makeup, you know. That's what I do here. Not usually. Usually, you look studly with a goatee. You damn. Listen, I'd buy that for $1. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Once this, you know, once this makeup is gone, and this day is gone, we're going back to the full beard and mustache, the whole bit. You know, wearing a hat. God, I miss hats. There should be, you know, man. So there's a gold dust that needs to happen. You know, exactly. Soak it all. Let it wash over you. Let this wash over you. You know. Listen, it's just how it is. Yeah. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Right? Like it's just how it is. You know. Yeah, let the glitter consume you. Let it enter you. let it become one with your soul. Oh, you know. What if we did like an Indian crow? Let me tell you something you've not been knowing. You have upset me as a father and your mother. God damn you, man. You know. Listen, I look like Sting. Steve Borden. You know. Well, Sting's entire gimmick after that was the crow. He literally, that was his entire gimmick for like 20 years. You know. So. That's just how it is. You know. I'll keep them narrow. You know. Sumo. Well, here's the funny thing. I don't even talk about wrestling that much. But I'm a pretty huge wrestling fan. That's kind of the weird thing, right? Oh yeah, Jesus just full of glitter. And you're like, what up, Jesus? And he's just like, glitter, glitter, glitter. Just all over the place, just floating. Yep. I could see that. But yeah, you know, I grew up a big wrestling fan. Loved, you know, All Japan, New Japan, Pro Wrestling, Noah. There's a wrestling federation called Noah. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know, big Japanese wrestling fan. You know, and the vast majority of the wrestlers that you know are from Canada anyway. Right? Like that's the thing. Hello! How you doing, Dean? How you doing? You know? What's up? Well, because as soon as I say Noah, people are going to be like, you mean Noah, you know, Noah Mactudis? Yeah, like, you know, and so, yeah, Noah, 01, all kinds of, All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, all that kind of stuff, right? And so, yeah, and, so I grew up watching all that wrestling, all the stuff that's, like, everybody else watched, WWE, WWF, WCW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, NWA, all that kind of stuff, right? All the Lucha, AAA, all the Mexican stuff, and all the awesome crossovers they've had with, like, New Japan and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, big wrestling fan. I just don't talk about it that much. Like, I've got tons of wrestling games and all that kind of stuff. But it just doesn't. I guess it doesn't come up that often, really. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't kind of search it out. I guess that's, you know what I mean? Like, because it's weird. Like, here's the thing, right? There's probably still glitter in your shoes from one time you were given task decorating a Christmas tree at work over. Well, see, that would happen. Just donated, acknowledge that you dressed as the crow. Well, look at that. Good for that. Listen, I'm out there. I'm making people happy. Awesome one. That's if that's the one thing I can do. If people are enjoying, right? Like if someone's day's kind of shit, and they see this and they're like, all right, that's fun. My work here is done, right? And if I, sometimes you do things for those kind of reasons, right? But yeah, he's seeking out with toys in Japan. All right, I like his attitude. I've got Japanese toys. Hold on. Listen, I've got all the toys that make the boys. Oh, wait, hold on. I guess I'll have to come close and be in front of it. This Ultraman. Not Ultraman, Jesus Christ. What am I doing here? Megalon and Jet Jaguar. The little clear boys. We got some Godzilla figs. We got some Gamera figs. I was thinking about doing an unboxing of these. Oh my god, the camera hates them. The camera hates them. Hold on. I was gonna say I could get rid of my crow background so it wasn't constantly filtering everything out. But I'm not gonna, because it can't rain all the time. Yeah, that's cool. See, like, that's the thing, right? Well, I had what's funny is I had a weird comment, on one of my, sketch covers that I did, right? And it's like by another artist, right? And they're just like, oh, your art style's real. And I'm just like, dude, you have a good art style. What are you talking about that my art style is super interesting to you or whatever, right? But, like, at the same time, like, it's kind of a pretty common conversation, right? Fire it up. But yeah, it's a pretty common conversation that, like, artists have where they're always kind of looking at what they're not, right? Like, a lot of artists or newer artists are always looking at the people that are better than them, right? And there are always going to be people better than you. There's always going to be somebody, like, like if say, like, oh, I'm really good at, whatever. There's going to be somebody who's way better at some other aspect of art, right? Like, whether it's sketch covers or whether it's, like, mural paintings or whatever, right? They're going to put more time into it, or they're into, like, chalk painting or whatever it is, like, chalk murals or whatever, right? Like, there's always going to be somebody who's working at a different aspect better than you, right? And then for them, there's already somebody working at something that's better than them, right? Like, even if you're better than 90% of the artists there's still 10% artists that are better than you, right? Like, and if you're that dude who's, the best artist his mom knows or the best artist his friends know, once you start putting yourself out into the real world, you quickly understand that everyone's better than you, right? And so I think that's that weird, like, test for a lot of people, right? Like, why a lot of people don't share what they do, or you know, because once you get out into the world of art and start comparing yourself to other people, there's a lot of factors that go into that, whether it's, you know, this guy's been doing this type of art for 40 years, but if you asked him to draw a comic page, he'd be stuck, right? Like, so there are peaks and valleys, like, you know, so some people are incredible poster or pinup painters, but they could not draw a comic book to save their life, right? And so that's the kind of thing. There are definitely... What? Did you get any razor blades? Man, you're really stoked for people who are getting, you know, razor blades. But no, like, I think that's the thing. Like, I think most people, as far as art goes, they focus, like, here's the thing. Like, I think you should always be challenging yourself. I think you should always be looking past the people you want to get past. But at the same time, just getting better because you want to get better, not because other people are, like, you know what I mean? Because spite is a powerful motivator, right? Like, just because you're like, well, I'm better than them, I can do better than them. And so a lot of people do work out of spite, right? Like, they will literally just do a thing because they know they're better than other people and they want to prove that, right? And that's a weird place to work from. I'm not saying it's like the worst place to work from, but it's a weird place to work from, right? And so, yeah, you know. And we got Emo Trash with a 200-word essay in here. You finally came downstairs around 12-ish. Cussed out Photoshop for the entire duration I tried to use it to work on one school project. Took a break to eat, then had to find the inspiration to do another. Yep. Well, see, the text block isn't big enough. Yeah, I get it. Right? Well, like, I mean, and that's also the thing, too. Like, I tend to work on, like, 3 pieces at once, right? Like, for the work that I'm doing, usually the sketch covers are very last second. I go, I'm going to do a sketch cover, and then I think about the sketch covers I have, and then I think about a few ideas, and then I just go with one, right? Like, I'll be like, ooh, I'm going to do the Maleficent in The Crow. The Crow, James O'Barr pose, right? And that came together really great. I was just like, and it was just like that. Like, I just was like, and I did that on that C3 stream, right? And so that just came together, and that's the way I like things, right? And it's one of my favorite pieces, just because it was effortless, right? And that probably like annoys people, right? Like, they just look at certain things and go, oh, he said that was effortless, that guy's an asshole. And you're right. You're right. But no, like, you know what I mean? But other things just don't come out the way you want them to, right? And so, well, it's not that I fear criticism, because I've put up stuff that I've absolutely hated. Right? Like, I've put up stuff that even when I put it up, I didn't like it, but it's already been done. People have seen it, like, whether it was on a stream or whatever. And I've just been like, if it was me just working on something in my own time, that thing would have never seen the light of day. Like, I have so much work piled up and pages and art for the book I'm working on that barely anybody has seen, right? Like, I've got a ton just, you know, marinating, as it were, right? But, like, when I work on things, like, you know, say I'm doing, like, you know, a cover for somebody. You know, somebody came back looking for their cover the other day after they were being weird about it. But that's neither here nor there, but they do still want the work. You know what I'm saying? The work was more than what they had anticipated. But yes, but, you know, I don't know. I usually like to work. I believe it. I believe it, CJ. I believe you do everything out of spite. I like that about you. But no, like, I usually work on 3 things at once. And so I'll be working on it, and I'll move on to the next thing and work on that, and then move on to the next thing, and then come back. Because you get a chance to look at that thing fresh again that you were working on and go, oh, this would be a little bit better because you've had time to look at other things while that was still marinating in the back of your head, right? And so there are certain things like that where I'm like, it's going to be a way better piece if I just put it on the back burner for a while, right? It's going to be way cooler because I will have thought about it more, right? Just subconsciously, right? And listen, sometimes you got to marinate, right? Like sometimes you got to, you get the cheap beef, and you want it to melt in your mouth, so you got to marinate that stuff, right? You don't want to just cook that stuff. You don't want to cook it and make it shoe leather. You know what I'm saying? You want to get in there. Can you guys hear that? I bet you can, because I can hear it. But like, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. It's weird. Like for every, I don't know. I feel like I've had some interesting conversations with some creative people lately, and I don't know. I don't know how. Like, I'm not trying to be what's the word? Gentle, or placating in any way. Listen, I can literally do it all day. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't do anything funky. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, is who talking? No. I'm not talking about holy cheeses. Cheeses, Christ and crackers. Crisscross with Daddy Mac will make you jump. No, but that's the thing. Like, I just I don't know. It's weird, because I see people doing things, and I'm just like, what is your base expectation? Like, it doesn't seem like it's realistic, right? And so it's kind of like that thing where I see some people, and and I've said this before many times too, and people don't like it, but I say it anyway because it's true. Where there are a lot of people for the last 10 years and still to this very moment, this very second, right? Like, you could go on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever, and there are people asking money for books that you would never walk into a store and pay for, and if you seen it in the store, you'd complain about it there, right? You'd be like, look at this fucking book, right? It looks like dog shit. Because even like indie books, like even if you're looking at Milk and Cheese and shit like that, there was still a competency to the art. Even if you're looking at Cerberus, even if you're looking at like what you would consider really indie books, right? And then there would be people who would come in and be like, I'm not talking about indie books, I'm talking about underground books. And I'm just like, bitch, you're that guy who is upset that somebody knows about the band that you like. Like, stop fucking coming in here and giving weird, underground. Like, fuck off. Because there's this weird lie that a lot of artists tell themselves that the reason they're not successful is because they're indie or they're underground and nobody gets them, man. And I'm just like, fuck off. Just fuck right off. Nobody cares about that shit, right? It's a lie. It's a lie people tell themselves because they're not successful and they're not going to be successful. And so it's a built-in excuse, right? Like, a lot of these people are building in an excuse for failure. And they're not learning from the failure. They're just building in the excuse for failure. Like, they won't try to do better or look at why no one likes what they're doing, right? Because, it's the thing, too. Like, a lot of people back books because the guy seems all right or the girl seems all right. You're like, oh, they're a pretty good person. They, maybe they'll get there someday, right? And you buy their book, right? Which I think is bad inherently, right? Like, I think if merit, I don't know, if merit isn't, I would rather everyone fucking hate my guts and think I'm an asshole, but my work be undeniable, and then be like, oh shit, this book looks fucking amazing, or this whatever looks like, I need to see that, right? I need to read that. That guy's an asshole, but everybody's saying this book is fucking great. I would rather that than people like me and buy my shit because of that, right? And and but the way YouTube and stuff like that is now, you have to come on, you have to be your own PR and HR and your own manager and your own, promoter and all that kind of stuff. Like the art game is really weird now, right? And so I have a huge distaste for it, but at the same time I'm built for it. If you get what I mean, like I can go and talk to people anywhere and have a conversation, and I don't have any kind of weird hang-ups about stuff, and that's fine, right? Because the reality, the reality is I'm probably the most interesting person on any of those things, right? Because I choose to be, right? Because I could sit there and I could be quiet and I could do whatever, or I could be like, hey, what if we just went for it? What if I asked the dumb questions, right? Exactly. But the thing is like, my people skills, like people just like, there are just a lot of people who aren't built that way, right? Like I get it. And I see a whole bunch of people say, oh, well, I can't be. And I'm like, no, you don't want to be, right? Like, I think that is the thing. Listen, the crow makeup has nothing to do with this. And you know that now. Right? Like, yeah, it's thing. See, Pop's in here. Pop's rolls up in here, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, who is this? And what I'm saying to you, Pops, is why aren't you playing Fortnite right now? Why are you in here when you could be playing 40? Why aren't you grinding that grind? Why ain't I grinding that grind? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Well, but here's the thing, though. Like, you don't have to whore yourself out, though. That's the thing. Like, I can go on all kinds of streams and do all kinds of stuff, and I could go dressed up. The other day I could have been dressed up as Shellbean and been on Phil's stream, but I didn't want to do that. Right? Like, to me, that's playing out that bit. And I like to commit to my own bits. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's been trying to get you to play for like 2 hours. Well, you know what I'm saying. Well, see, the thing is like, if I'm choosing to be my own pimp, I'm kind of like bad at it, because I could go, oh, you're waiting for us to play 40. Well, listen, what time is it? Here, give me 20 minutes, Pops. How about that? 20 minutes, and then Pops, it'll happen. How about that? Well, no, like, here's my thing. There's no Rip Jelly Bean. I just wasn't like, it wasn't my interest to go on a stream and do it, right? Oh, I'm definitely not streaming it. Definitely not streaming any Fortnite or whatever right now, anyway. That's for sure. Listen, I'm gonna make. I don't make Pops wait. Pops is all right. But like, yeah, like here's the thing, right? Like, there's plenty of times when I could go on streams, or I could worm my way onto streams. Like, I've seen a lot of people basically just kind of like insert themselves into groups and creative blocks and things like that. And they were completely unknown before that, right? And so I kind of realize, because of who I am and what my personality is like, that if I go into other areas, people aren't going to like it. They're going to be like, who's this motherfucker strolling in here thinking he's all that in a bag of chips, and they're right, Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with, like, I just don't feel like setting it up and streaming it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's literally a reason. No, listen, someday, Sumo, but it's not a today thing. Well, they do. They, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, okay, here, we'll have this conversation, CJ. Now, we were on that C3 stream, right? Now, me going in at the end to kind of bring things home for that stream, right? That could have went one of two ways. It went well, but also most of those people had no idea who I was, right? So me coming in there and giving people the business and talking shit to them and doing all that stuff, there is a group bias, there is an out bias, there is all that kind of stuff, right? So a whole bunch of people just could have instantly been, who the fuck's this guy think he is? Fuck that guy, right? And just downplayed the whole thing. That just happens. I was a clear outsider, and I came in and I was like, hey, the thing's closing down, it's getting kind of stale. If somebody doesn't turn it up, we're not going to make any more money, and we're there to make money. So, vroom, vroom, vroom. Let's go to 11, and let's have fun with it, right? And so I was like, it's either going to be funny as hell, and we're going to make more money, or a bunch of people are going to be pissed. And the thing was, is I didn't care either way, right? Like, because at that point, money had stopped coming in, right? And so it was literally like a dead spot, and then then it came to me, right? And so it seemed like the crowd was dead. It seemed like the bidding was done. We had been going for like 6 hours at that point, right? It was a long stream. And so, yeah, like that's the thing. Like I could have went, hey guys, I have this here. Yeah, it's a gem sketch cover. You'd like to buy this? It'd be fun. It's for cancer. Hey guys. You know, I could have done that, right? And so the thing is like you have to have fun. Listen. I don't listen to CJ. You know, even though I've been graced enough to actually see CJ's visage. I'm one of the few, the proud, the many. You know. Yeah. Oh well. See, but that's the thing, right? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like the out group, in group bias kind of thing is that thing. So if people weren't enjoying it, you know, no, there's no high from it or anything like that. Like, it's just that like there are certain realities to that, and then like, you know, it's like with the sumo stream. I dress up as Shelby. Then they're like, oh, you want to go on this stream? And I'm like, no, I don't. Right? Because that, like, you know, because you're instantly like, people want to shop you around, right? Like they want the hotness on their stream, right? Because they think it's going to add more viewers. It's going to add a better flow to the stream. There's going to be better conversation, yada, 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 right? And so then that's what people want. But like my thing is like, I would just rather hang with people I like. If that's helpful to them and their streams, cool. Great. Awesome. Right? Right? No, but like, that's the thing. Like, listen, I know what happens. It happens over and over again. It's the reality, and I'm just aware of it. And that's why people think I'm an asshole. It's fine. I'm cool with it. I don't worry about it. If I was worried about people's opinions, I wouldn't have streams like this, and I wouldn't say the shit I'm saying, right? No, I definitely am not that guy, Noah, and I don't want to be that guy, but I'm that guy, or is it this guy? I don't know. You know. Damn! Listen to the Pops. I know what you're thinking to yourself, Pops. I know what you want. You know? Yeah. You've tried endlessly to share CG streams with people I watch that could care less about comics, right? Well, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna kind of blow your mind here, awesome one. I don't care about any of that CG shit. I haven't cared for it for a very long time, right? Like, I think there are certain things that have always had merit as far as, you know, groups of creators being able to help themselves and promote each other and kind of be a boost for each other, right? You know, whether it's creatively, whether it's just building your circle, right? As far as your reach goes, right? But like, it being something that you put on a t-shirt is fucking stupid. It's the stupidest fucking thing. It's an ideal. It's like, you know, like, it's like I said before, like when Gamergate was a thing, nobody copyrighted that. Nobody put it on a t-shirt. Nobody hashtagged themselves as that, right? It was always very fucking dumb. And so my thing has always been like, yeah, sure, a lot of cool people making cool shit in that bubble, that, you know, movement, whatever you want to call it, right? Well, my thing is like, I think at some point, right, you do yourself a disservice by locking yourself into one group or one ideal, right, or movement or whatever, right? Like you can still agree with the creative freedom, you can still agree with the networking, you can still agree with, you know, that kind of focus and a merit-based system. But when things aren't that, and they're only serving a few people at the top of a specific pyramid, then it all falls apart really quickly. And it has been kind of falling apart for a couple of years now, right? Like a lot of the bigger guys' sales are just nowhere near what they, you know, they're not gaining, they're losing, right? They're even some of the more quiet guys are having trouble hitting six figures who were hitting six figures before easily, right? And, you know, and probably a lot of that's the economy, but also probably people are getting burned out on getting sold the same hot dogs over and over again that don't actually have any meat on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just getting a bun at this point, and you're waiting 2 years for the meat. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. Like, you know, but like, that's the thing. Like, I think there are a lot of people fooled into thinking like that's their shot, right? And then there are other people out there who are just indie creators and are doing fine, right? And I think the thing that the lesson so few people took was that you should be making your own audience, right? You should be creating your own circles. You should be creating your own networks of like-minded people, right? Like where I talk to Noah and Shelby and Andy and, like, you know, people like that. You know, and then they have their own circles, and, you know, and then you reach out and we talk to CJ and K-pop and all those, you know, people who are doing really cool stuff for their communities, right? But then at the same time, they don't really have a ton of outreach to other communities themselves, right? So there are a lot of islands in the stream, as it were. You know, that is what we are, nowhere in between. You know, sail away with me to another world. But no, like, you know what I mean? There are a lot of islands, you know, that are in the same stream. And it's very bizarre that there's so little interaction with them, right? Like in such a, what we would say is such a big marketplace, right? Like there's 8 billion people on the planet, but you got creators struggling to sell 100 copies of a book. And some of the books are genuinely good and look good and have better art than Marvel and DC or Image, but they're struggling to sell 100 copies of that book, right? Like that's a legitimate thing that is happening out there. And it's either they can't get the reach. So, no, like, you know what I mean? It's like that thing I've said a billion times before. You can have the best art and the best storytelling, but if nobody sees it, it doesn't fucking matter, right? And so that's a huge problem. Just getting your shit out in front of people, just getting your people's eyes on your work to even know that they like it, right? Or that they even to see it in the first place, to even be like, ooh, what's that, right? And so that's a huge problem that, like, the creators have. Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, a lot of the clicks are there because of people like me. To be frankly honest, do you know what I mean? Like, there are quote unquote people who would just come in, and if they felt like it, they could monopolize and take over or pull a bunch of your viewership, your crowd, like whatever, right? You know, just because they're doing more interesting things, right? Like a lot of the people who, you know, are putting up those walls are the people who are afraid to lose their spot, right? Like they won't open their door because they think somebody like me is going to come in and take their lunch money, right? Like that's the reality of it, right? Because like I could just sit here and talk all day. It doesn't fucking bother me any. And I could go on anybody's stream and talk to them and have a conversation with them. And it would make their stream better. Right? Like, do you know what I mean? And so, at least make it more interesting, right? Yeah, see? You do need to fatten up, Noah. But no, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, there are just certain realities. And, you know, and I'm sure there are people that don't like to hear them, you know? But it is what it is, right? Like, I can't help, I don't know, I can't help people who don't want to help themselves, right? And so I do think it's interesting, like, right, that you'll have these artists and these writers and are like, well, I don't want to be a YouTuber, I just want to make comic books. And I'm like, well, then go get a job professionally at Marvel or DC then, right? Because that's the difference. Like, the only difference between me sitting here in this crow outfit talking mad yang about all kinds of different things is that some people will go, hey, I like Jay because he says X, Y, and Z. I like his art. I like whatever. I'm gonna support his work, right? The person who doesn't want to do any of this and represent themselves and put themselves out there, they need to go work at Marvel or DC, where Marvel and DC will put your name on a book and put a tweet out and push out your whatever, and then you can just sit at home and not market yourself while working for a company that doesn't care about you, right? And that's the dumbest thing ever, right? Like, when I was younger, the idea of working at Marvel and DC had an appeal, right? Like, but because there was actually something to be gained. There was actually some merit in it, and there was actually something that could help build your career, right? But like today, I don't want to be the 10th guy drawing Spider-Man swinging through the city. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like at some point, there's nothing to gain from that, right? You might as well create your own IP and get the lion's share of the money, the lion's share. Like, if you're going to put the work in, you might as well own your stuff. Why would you bust your ass for a big multi-million-dollar company that likely isn't even going to give you residuals or any kind of like creator like ownership or anything like that, right? Like, why would you do that? Like, aside from the pure love of a character, right? Like, if it was like, oh my god, I would love to write Spider-Man, or I would love to write Hal Jordan or Psylocke or whatever. Like, if you had a story in you that you're like, oh my god, if I could ever do it. But like, if you have that story, just write that story, but change the character. Just, it's not Psylocke anymore. It's, you know, I don't know, Psycho Blade or whatever it is, or, you know, Mind Hunter or something. You know what I mean? Like, you just write that story, but you create your own IP, right? And then you're not confined to their boundaries. And then if it's successful, they're not the ones that are putting it in movies and not paying you for it, right? Like Joe Mad did that. He created Blink. They put Blink in those X-Men movies, and he didn't get a dime from it because he was a freelancer. He was a work-for-hire dude, so everything he created and made cool, he got nothing out of, right? So why do that? Why put yourself in that position to. You're basically saying, take advantage of me, right? Like, take my talent, take my time, take my hard work, and exploit me. Please, Daddy. Please. Like, bend me over and spank me, because I don't want to be successful. I just want to get that merit that Marvel and DC supposedly give to artists, right? Because there is something, like, there's a weird, like, you know, if you're like, oh man, I have an indie book, and people are like, uh-huh. But if you're like, oh, I did a cover for Marvel, they're like, ooh, you did a cover for Marvel, did you? You're a legitimate artist. And it's nonsense. It is the most, like, nonsense bullshit, because there are terrible, like, for the last 10 years, we've seen some of the worst comic book art come out of what is a Disney-owned multi-million-dollar a year company. And you're just like, can you not pay some good artists to, like, do right by these characters? Like, it baffles me, right? And then you'll go and look at, like, an indie creator who's putting their heart and soul into these books, and the art is amazing, and you're just like, oh my god, like, if you could put this guy on the Hulk or on whatever, it would be amazing. You'd love it, right? Like, you'd love to see that. But then at what point is it just not worth it for those creators? Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I think for someone like you, Emo Trash, like, if you're interested in animation, right? Like, I would, and people are going to hate this. People are fucking going to hate this, right? But if you're interested in animation, there's probably never been a better time to be an artist who's animating, right? Because with AI, it's going to get to the point where you can make all the keyframes and make them as interesting and as detailed and as solid as you want. And then the AI can do all the in-betweens, right? And then you, as the creator, can fine-tune that. You can tweak everything, right? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, AI is the worst. And it's like, no, it's if you're training the model based on your art and it's doing your in-betweens in animation, that's a revolution in animation. Right? Like, you're basically opening animation up to a way wider, a way wider talent pool, right? Because half of animation is drudgery, right? Like, it's just sheer drudgery. That's why there are key animators who are really good at making those really awesome keyframes, and then you have in-betweeners who just have to follow it through, right? And so I think with AI, you're actually going to get to a point where you're going to see some amazing animated, like, either shorts or full films by maybe one or two people, right? Like, they might do the backgrounds, or they might do all the design work, and get AI to fill in the things where they would have to hire 10 or 15 other people, right? And so, like, that's my thing. Like, I don't think AI is. I'm not a fan of it per se, like, for, comics and creating general art. But I think as something that can, like, take a lot of the drudgery out of something like animation, where you can do those keyframes, I think AI would be great for helping with in-betweens, right? And then you're still likely going to have to go in and tune and tweak all the in-betweens anyway, right? But it's going to make it so that you're not spending 3 weeks to a month animating a few seconds of animation, right? Emo says, animation was the aspiration for the past few years. Now that I'm halfway through an art degree, I'm less sure. Matrix passion project saved me from being burnt out. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that could be, your labor of love, as it were, right? You could be like, okay, well, I'm going to freelance art, or I'm going to do comic art, or I'm going to do graphic design, or whatever as my day job. But my passion project is this animated piece that I'm going to work on for the next 5 years. Like that. Oh, people do that stuff all the time. Like, a lot of people have stuff going on in the background, and I think that stuff is important. I think a lot of people get caught in the weeds and get stuck in a job that might be in their chosen field, but it's not their chosen passion. It's not their, direct interest on a day-to-day basis, even though they're using the skills that they went to school for. And with that, I would say work towards the thing that you want to do, not the things you have to do, right? But that's just me, right? That's just the way I look at it. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm not interested in AI as like a replacement for anybody or for comics. I just don't think comics are even commercial comics are somewhat personal, right? There is an art direction. There is even if you don't like the art direction, even if you don't like the way the panel layouts are, there's still a personal output, right? There's still someone choosing that frame, that shot, that stance, that smile, that whatever, right? And so I like the personal touch, even if I'm not necessarily a fan. Well, they don't. No, but I don't that's the thing. I also think that as with a lot of things, nuance, right? I'm typically speaking in a generality, right? And so I'm putting nuance on when I say, hey, you're making a comic. Yeah, sure, you can make your comic, and it doesn't have to crush your soul, or it doesn't have to uplift you emotionally, or whatever. Some things can just be fun. Some things can just have kind of goofy art, and that's fine, right? I'm not discounting other people's craft per se, right? But I'm also kind of okay, it still is a cash transaction. It still is a marketplace. You're still asking for money for it, right? And so even I don't know, I still feel that there should be some kind of standard, just a bar, right? And so, yeah, and I think that's where the frustration or confusion comes in with a lot of people, right? And that's why when some of the guys come out and be like, well, we're underground, we're indie, we're not mass market. And I'm like, okay, well, enjoy not mass market existence and all, because I think that's the big lie, if I'm being completely honest, is that people are like, well, I don't want to be a sellout. And I'm like, I think the thing that you want is your book to sell out. You don't have to sell out your values or your principles, but you want people to buy your stuff. And the not being a sellout is the justification for your shit not selling, right? You're just well, I'm not a sellout. I'm not gonna make stuff for everybody that could enjoy, just weird shit like that, right? Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. There are big creators who put out subpar stuff, right? Do you know what I mean? Where you're just you phoned that in, you chunked it out, and somebody like Shelby came in and inked it and made it look good, right? But you got all the money out of it, and so that's the thing. What's Noah saying here, guys? But you don't understand. My work is too intellectual for anyone to understand. People just can't buy what I'm selling. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Shelby's busy. I was talking to Shelby and Andy today on the Instagrams. He's running. He's with school and all this other stuff, right? So Shelby's grinding. Shelby's grinding his school, and that's good. That's good. I want to see him. I want to see him grind and see what he does. I want to see what here's the interesting thing. I want to see what Shelby does if he's making 3D models and game stuff. You know what I mean? He's got an interesting kind of perspective on comics and that kind of stuff. So if he's putting that towards a gaming venture, I'd be really curious to see what his art would translate into a game, right? How he would make that work. Yeah. And Shelby is arting all of Jay's work. listen, don't worry about Shelby. Shelby's getting it done. But no, like I don't think it has anything to do. Where was it here, Noah? Yeah, you guys don't understand, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not saying all my work's too intellectual, or I mean, it's probably going to be different than a lot of you guys are thinking it is, but maybe not. I don't know. But that's the thing, right? Like, I think a lot of people are in that indie mentality where they're just like, you know, oh well, we like these bands, and now that you know who these bands are, I don't want to listen to those bands anymore. They're not cool, right? And so I think it's like a self-inflicted, self-imposed obscurity, right? Where they don't really want to do anything that is even. And here's the thing, like I think people. Oh, hey Alex, what's going on? I think people want excuses to fail, right? They want a backup plan. They want to do that because, like, then it takes pressure off, right? Like, if you're just making some bumfuck indie book that, you know, that's about a cheese goblin who, you know, runs around and eats everyone's macaroni, and when it doesn't do well, you're like, oh, well, you know, they just don't get my bumfuck cheese goblin eating everyone's macaroni, right? Like, they're not getting it. They're not hip to it, right? When it's just a dumb concept that isn't necessarily bad, but it's also just not good either, right? And so, yeah, I don't know. It's a very bizarre place to see a lot of people. Yeah, you have to do it. You got to eat your macaroni. You got to, you know, drink your prayers and say your vitamins. You know how it is, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just that kind of thing. It's just the way it is. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you that this is what it is. I can't help it. You can't help it. You know? Yeah, you eat your macaroni from across the room and I drink your milkshake. Exactly. Listen, I'm drinking it. Listen, if I want to drink your milkshake, it's fucking already drank. You just don't know it yet. You know? Yeah, I don't know. It's that kind of fun. It's the big hype. It's the, you know, whatever. I don't know. Macaboni. Oh, yeah, that card was funny to me. Those cards were kind of neat, you know. I'm all about it. Yeah. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. So yeah, I don't know, guys. You know, we've been going here. We've been waxing philosophical. We've been, you know, we've been the crow. You know, it's just how it is. Sometimes you gotta come out here as the crow. You gotta drop some facts. You gotta drop some transmissions. You haven't even been here that long, Alex, to hear the nonsense that I've been spewing for the last 2 hours. You know, and I respect that about you. You know, you just opened an energy drink, awesome one. Jeez, I'm not. This isn't the Joker. There's no red here. Look, this is the Crow. This is Eric Draven, motherfucker. There's only one Crow. It's Brandon. Brandon Lee. Oh, you know. Yeah. Instead of mic dropping, you need to do the tape fart again. What tape fart? The Joker isn't goth. You know? The makeup is really dry and really tight. You know? I don't know. I don't know how it is. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Dry and tight. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. If you're, you know what I'm saying? You know? I mean, it could be wet and they could do Kegels, you know. I'll allow it. You know, I'll be like, hey, you work on that, girl. You know, I want the firmest handshake. I want to feel like I'm getting arm wrestled in there. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, you know, I want a firm handshake. You know, that's all I ask. You know, I don't think I'm asking for a lot. You know, I just don't want to be doing push-ups in a swimming pool. You know how it is. That's it. You know, and like, you know, you might say to yourself, well, dude, what's happening on your end, right? And I'm just saying, like, a Boeing 747 looks small going through the Grand Canyon. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, when you throw a hot dog down a hallway, it could be a Frankfurter, it could be a foot long, but it's still going down a hallway, right? So I'm just saying, tighten it up, get your shit together. That's all I'm saying. You know, you get your shit together, I'll get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? And we can get our shit together. Right? Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, see, now there is a point. All right, okay, let's get to it. There is a point. There is a point, Alex. Now, at some point, you know, you need at least a bare minimum of 3 inches to penetrate. So if you don't even have that, it don't matter how firm that handshake is. You ain't even getting in there. You know, so at some point it does fall on the man, right? And I'm just saying, so if you aren't built to accept a firm handshake, nothing I can do for you, right? Exactly. Like, if you haven't seen your dick in 20 years, nothing I can do about that for you. You know? Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Corey? Yep. Yeah, I 100%... Like, listen, when I do something, I go all in. You know what I'm saying? I commit to the bit, you know? And I just go for it, you know? I went hard, and I do it. You know? I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, if you're gonna do something half-assed, why do it? Right? Like, if you're not gonna do the full tape, if you're not gonna get the bullet holes, if you're not gonna have the ring, right? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, I just at least want 75% out of you. I don't necessarily need the 100, but I want 75. You know? Yeah. It's like the more scary version. Is that a compliment? Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Damn it, Corey. Let's go. How's the crow inherently evil? He's pretty good, right? Like, he's avenging the death. He's trying to right a wrong. You know? That's pretty good. Like, do you know what's puzzling the shit out of me right now? Is there are fucking 11 of you guys watching this shit. That's funny. It's funny to me. Mimes are evil. Just been imagining Jay as Sting this whole time. Listen, I'll hit you with the Stinger Splash. Oh yeah, girl. Please don't go. Put you in that Scorpion Deathlock. Who's your favorite new kid? Call me Joey. Call me... No, there's zero alcohol happening here. Damn, I've been over 20 minutes and Pops is giving me shit. Oh, it is. It is. I've went over my time. Pops is now infuriated. Oh, you're just watching a Japanese girl cook cookies. Oh, because I could have been. I could have been drinking. You don't know. I mean, I wasn't, but, you know, I could have been. You know. But yeah. Yeah. You're just happy that I'm streaming and that you don't have to. That's true. I do feel that a lot, right? Like, I do like to see that someone's streaming and I go, ah, that's good. I don't want... Because that's the thing. There's so much cross-pollination in a lot of these streams that if you're streaming when somebody else is streaming, chances are they're going to have to make the choice to watch you or the other person, right? Like, you know, And so sometimes I just go for it, and other times I'm just like, eh. You know, I won't waste my time. I'll let them have their full audience and go from there. But other times I'm just like, I feel like streaming. I can't do anything about it. I see that they've got a notification. What do you want me to do about it? You know? And so I just go. You know, that's how it is. You know, I could have said, man, the creative block is on. That's such an entertaining and informative show. I shouldn't stream while that's on. Right? I wouldn't want anybody to miss that. Right? I just wouldn't want that for anybody. And so I'm not going to stream. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to fucking stream, get fucked. You know? What can I say? What can I say? I jest. You know? Like the Joker. I jest. You know? You should be crashing car harder than Kobe's helicopter. Damn. Okay, do you want me to tell you what my problem with the creative block is? It goes too long. Right? Like if you're going to come in and have some kind of, you know, thing about storytelling, then come in, have your discussion about the storytelling, do it, and then move on. Like if you're going to go on about, I don't know, in media res, for example, and you're going to have a giant conversation about how that works and make it interesting, then yes, Phil asked me one time why I never was in that chat, and I said it's too long. The show runs too long, so I don't waste my time with it. And so yeah, if they went in and they were in there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, 2 hours max might be a good show. You could have a good conversation about the storytelling principle, how it could be used, and then you move on. And you're like, all right, guys, have a good night, and then everybody can go their separate ways. You know. What? Listen, I can't. I'm never gonna stop. This is. Hold on. Will it even show? No. You know. That'd be funny. But then I wouldn't. Then I would risk losing my channel. You know. I'm not gonna do that. You know. No tip reveal. Damn. I like the cut of your jib. Just gonna put that out there. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Alex, maybe get them to stream snipe Jake. No, don't stream snipe me. No. No, I'm technically wearing pants, but you know, I think it's funny that in this one instance, you know, plenty of paints, no pants. Yeah. Okay, Alex, give me the meme. What is the meme for this show? Not this one, but the show that they're doing. The show that they're doing. You know? What does that mean? You know, tell me about the meme. You know? What is the essence of that show's meme? That's what I want to know. Right? See, he's closed up. What's going on? I already posted. Jeez. Why was Phil Darth Maul? Wasn't he NWO Sting? Wasn't he Red Sting? Right? I mean, listen, if you're a Rini enjoyer, you could probably put pretty much any kind of gimmick, horns or headset, and be fine, right? As long as you turn the volume down, you're good. Outside of that, your mileage may vary, right? You know, that's all. No hate, no, just, you know, just, you know, I mean, that was, you know, that. I don't dislike any of them. I actually like Narwhal a lot. You know. Oh wait, there's Jake. Damn. I mean, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. I'll give you that. Three out of 4 ain't bad. You know. I just like the idea of Jake seeing something or hearing something like that and just being like, oh, hello, Pip Pip. I cannot believe that someone does not like me. You know, I feel like even the implication that I didn't like Jake would be more than enough. You know, to put the tea in his crumpets. You know. Oh, I don't think you even think you know who Jake is. To say that. No way, Jose. Yeah. This is a dude who bought that whatever her name is bathwater, and you think that guy's confident? Get the fuck out of here. You're buying a woman's bathwater? You're a fucking simp. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Don't even. Yes! There you go, Emo Trash. Belle Delphine. Thank you. That guy's a Belle Delphine keyboard. Nuff said. Nuff said. Emo Trash knows what's up. I like that. But yeah, you know. Yeah, but I mean, but you know, I don't know. You know. We'll see. But yeah, we're having fun tonight. Yeah, he bought her. Okay. I'm pretty sure he said he did. And if he said, I feel like on his first streams, and I noticed that he had the keyboard, and I said, dude, do you have Belle Delphine's keyboard? No. Back when he first started doing this into the zone, yeah. Now listen, I've done this. Listen, this is like semi sort of my natural state. Which Bancroft one time seen me on one of these streams have this same attitude when I was just kind of talking about the way things are. And he's like, you and Camel should stream together, like me and Camel Moon. And I was like, I don't know if the internet could handle that. You know, I don't know if the internet could handle the stream where me and Camel Moon go off on people. I don't think that would be. I don't think that'd be healthy for anybody. I don't know, but it'd probably be funny. That's for sure. Yeah, but like, now here's the thing. I get a very beta, very like cries himself to sleep in a pillow every other night kind of vibe. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the asshole. Who's got 2 thumbs and an asshole? This guy. Yeah. No, Camel would be mad at me streaming over the creative block. Yeah, that's true. But I like that about him. I like that about him a lot. Well, see, here's the thing about Camel. He, I think, mistakenly thought that, like, it was a community. And that there was, like, some kind of respect and some kind of order to things where people were trying to build each other up and share the community and push everyone to each other's shows and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I think that was where Camel kind of realized that that's not how it is. And so it not being that way kind of like went, hey, not even that, but like, you know, you can see how quickly like things turn. And so, yeah, well, they're supposed to be extra, you know. But yeah, like you can see how those things turn, right? And so one day you're on the streams and you're the fun guy and blah blah blah, and then when it suits people, they go, hey, that dude's a clown, and why does anybody want a Blu-ray? Right? Who buys Blu-rays? Why would anybody want one? Like that kind of bullshit, right? And so, yeah, like that kind of stuff is, you know. But here's on the other side of the coin. Well, no, but here's the other side of the coin. Why would you get mad? And I'm just going to say it. Why would you get mad if Ethan is streaming when almost all of your content and your Blu-ray is based on Ethan? Like, that's it. Period. Full stop. You basically, like, built your fan base and built your thing on those animations that are Ethan. You basically built any following you have on the back of Ethan. So, why get mad when the guy who you're basically getting your content from is making content? It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Right? Like, and I get it. I get both sides of it. But at the same time, it's like you have to understand that if you're building... Yeah, and no, I actually like Camel. It has nothing to do with liking Camel, or disliking him, or liking Ethan, or disliking him. But there's just a reality to it that was clearly not evident to the people involved. Right? Like, you know. Well, and I'm just going to be straight up honest. The people like Patrick T, they literally exist and have a place because everybody else is fucking leaving. No one wants to hang around that bullshit. No one wants to be stabbed in the back or be the next source of the drama or, you know, be the next dungeoneer or any of that fucking stupid bullshit. Right? Like, all these people are fucking clowns and they're acting like the other person's the guy with the fucking rubber nose on. It's the stupidest fucking shit. And the irony that I'm fucking wearing full fucking makeup is incredible right now. You know, but that's the reality of it. Right? And so you have a whole bunch of people who seem to think that there's a community, and then you have the slums, and you have all this other bullshit. And it's just like, you guys retarded? Like, why would you ever want to label yourself as the slums? Why would you ever want to be like that? Why would that be your fucking cross to bear? You know, why would you even waste your time doing that? Like, you never see me there, right? Like, you never see me in any of those streams or anything like that, because it's fucking stupid. Right? Like, that's the thing. It's fucking dumb. It's essentially crabs in a fucking bucket. And I've told some of them that. And I'm just like, why would you basically put yourself in a situation where none of those people are ever going to fucking go anywhere and do anything, but you're content to stay with them? My God, it's the stupidest fucking thing. And those people who were there 5 years ago are still in the same place they were 5 years ago, no fucking further ahead. Yeah? Why wouldn't it? I don't give two sweet fucks about what anybody would think about what I'm saying right now. I never say anything off stream that I wouldn't say on stream. You're getting the exact same thing. I would tell it to any fucking one of their faces, and I'm doing it right now. Right? Like, if anybody had any fucking problem with this, then they know I'm right. Right? Like, if someone from the slums was like, oh my God, you said none of us are going anywhere and we're crabs in a bucket? And I'd be like, where were you 5 years ago? Where are you now? Still in that same bucket, motherfucker? Sure fucking looks like it. So, enjoy the bucket, boys. Enjoy the bucket. Right? Like, you know, if, like that shouldn't be offensive or a surprise to any of them. At all. You know? I'm just saying, yeah, it's crabs in a bucket. It is 100%. You know? And then you got all the satellites and hangers-on with their little drama streams and all this kind of shit. And it's just like, yeah, and what are you doing? You're just clinging on to other people's, like, you know, success, right? I just don't have any time for it. I don't care about it. Right? Like that, and that's the thing. You know, and you have interesting people out there doing interesting things, and they're reaching the audiences they need to reach, and that's it. You know, and many of these people, 5 years from now, will still be doing the same thing with the same audience. It's not going to be growing. It's not going to be better sales. Their books aren't going to sell. The drama doesn't help any of that. Because people just get tired of it. It's like a broken fucking record or a broken clock. It's right twice a day and people get tired of seeing the same time, so they throw the fucking clock out and get a new one. Like, you know, it's just like, yeah. I mean, don't even get me started on Dillard. Jesus Christ. I've known Dillard for 7 years. Longer than most of you have even been around. Where's he going? You know, I like Dillard. Super nice guy. You know, his work's getting there. But you know, I don't think hitching his wagon to Flash is going to be the fixer. You know, the fixer upper that he thought it would, and especially with everything happened, all that drama and all that stuff with Flash, I think, and all that stuff isn't going to help him any. So, you know, he'd be better off just doing his own thing and making his own books. But here we are. Here we are. You know? Yeah, oh yeah, like I said, we'll see. I just think that, like, you know, the more things don't change, the more they stay the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know, but his second book, nobody bought it. I think it made like $2,000. You know, and to him, he thinks he should be making $20,000 or $30,000. You know, but the problem with those numbers and those things is you have to put in the work, right? Like Bancroft put out a book 10 plus years ago and has been redoing and refining that book, and he gets like 800 backers, right? So he put in 10 years of work, has 800 backers. You know, so there's, yes, there is a lot of competition. I agree 100%. But at the same time, there's not a lot of undeniable competition either. There's a lot of meh and eh. Right? There's a lot of very uninspired dreck out there, and there's just a lot of, like, people taking paychecks and shit like that, right? Like, and it's just how it is. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying anything is better. And everyone knows what they're doing, right? Like I like there's like, you know what I mean? Like saying that Dillard doesn't know what he's doing in that, like, you know, that regard, whether he's just doing some book for some random writer that he just, you know, chunks out and gets the paycheck and moves on to the next thing. That's what artists do, right? That's what you do when you're a freelance artist or you're, you know, work for hire or whatever, right? Like that's any artist, right? Like, it's like I got commissioned to do a cover, and then we got in a little bit of a conflict about what I would be getting paid for the cover. And then I said, well, guess what? I'm going to keep the cover. And then they came back like a week later and said, hey, do you still got that cover? You know? So that's how that kind of stuff goes. Like, the art game is as enjoyable as it is frustrating 99.9% of the time, right? you know, but yeah, I just think. Did they offer to pay you full price the second time around? We'll see. I'm not gonna explain too much of those details, but I will just say if I don't get what I want for my cover rate, they don't get the art. That's for sure. I will redo the work and put it on and just rework the piece a bit and just make some prints and sell some prints. I plan on doing a bunch of that stuff next year, opening a proper web store where people can buy stuff, right? Just so that's established well in advance before I start promoting and doing stuff with my book. Because I want my book to be done and printed. I am going to be doing prints. And so, yeah, a lot of that stuff is well in the works right now. But like I said before, you don't have to be, you know, there could be t-shirts, there could be whatever, right? Hey Katie, how you doing? And so, yeah, like that's the kind of thing, like, and I don't think people are taking those risks, right? Like, I don't think there are enough artists who are out there setting up their own shops. They're relying on an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter or Fund My Comic or whatever, right? When you could just be like, I got a book right here. You can go buy it right now. You want a t-shirt to go with that? You want a poster? Want a sketch cover? Whatever, right? Like, I think because I think the business aspect of it is lost on a lot of people, and a lot of people are struggling to make money, but they won't do the things to get that revenue. They think it should all come from one place and one place only, right? And like, it just can't do that anymore, right? Like, because there are people who would probably be like, oh, I like that shirt, but I don't necessarily want to buy a $40 or $50 hardcover collection, or I don't want to buy, you know, this ash can for $20 or whatever it is, right? But they might be like, oh, I'll support them and buy a $20 or $25 shirt, right? And so, yeah, I just think there's plenty. Here's the thing. I think there's plenty of money to go around. I think there's plenty of people to spend money and take, because like I spend a ridiculous amount of money on stupid shit, right? Like, and I think a lot of these other people they're just not spending it on those comic books. They're not spending, like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't back Bancroft's the first time he launched his book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, it looks all right. Like, you know, I'll wait. And it's like, I got to see his stuff, and I got to see him work on the book, and I got to see him improve the first version of the book. And then when he came out with the big hardcovers, right? When he came out with those two big hardcovers, I was like, all right, here we go. He's taking a chance on doing the French-style bande dessinée covers, like hardbound versions of them. I'm going to support that. I want that. And then I sat down and read both of Bancroft's books, you know, Painted Death and the first Lucent book. And I will say, honestly, his book is one of the most commercially viable indie books I have read in a very long time. I could see that as a series of movies. I could see it as a TV series. I could see more than just comic people liking that story. You know, it has action, it has romance, it has all this stuff in it that could be enjoyed by a wider audience, right? And so, yeah, like, you know what I mean? And so when I sat down and read that, I was actually genuinely surprised at how good that book was, right? And the art in the first book isn't as good as the art in the second book, right? Like, he actually leveled up, even though he redrew the first book a couple times, right? What's happening here? Listen, settle down, everybody. You know, Canada's a real place with real humans, real human boys. No, not all Canadians are nice. No, it's a myth. It's a fabrication, you know. But I will hold the door open for you as a common courtesy, you know. But no, like I do think that's a real thing, right? Where like a lot of people just don't want to do that kind of stuff, and I think I don't know, I think even with Bancroft's book, specifically how he improved that first book with iteration over 10 years, right? And so he refined it to a place, and then when he started on the second book, the artwork is way better, the page layouts are better. There was only one spot in that Painted Death book that was semi hard to read. There was a double page spread. There's like part of the chase or whatever. I don't want to spoil anything, but when I first hit the page, I went down and it was a splash page, and I was like, it didn't read like I should go fully across the page immediately. I had to like kind of go like, oh, it's a double page. And so, yeah, like that's the thing. What? You could have been your neighbor when you were in Maine. Damn. All right. But no, that like the books that Bancroft is doing, because it actually has like a real decent arc to it, right? Like, you know, I think my only gripe is there was that kind of thing where it was like a little bit off-putting, where you were going through it and it was kind of hard to read for a split second, like a briefest of moment. I was like, huh? And then I was like, okay, that's how that page flows. All right. It just wasn't natural immediately. And that the books keep ending on cliffhangers. That shit is driving me insane. Waiting for people to put out a book that ends, and then you're waiting a year or two to get any kind of continuation, right? And I feel like more of these creators should be almost writing like in like almost like an episodic fashion, where you have a beginning, middle, and a satisfying end that naturally runs into the next book, right? But I should be able to read like, and there's a nice little kind of like backup in Painted Death that covers the whole book in like 2 pages. It covers the whole first book in not Fractured Mind. What is it? What's the first book called? They're here somewhere. No, that's Nosfero. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. First Lucent book. And he just basically sums up that, Waking Dream. Thank you, Sumo. He sums up Waking Dream in like 2 pages or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That you can sum up that book so succinctly without me having to even have bought the first one, right? But like, I feel like people should be, writing their first book as though it could be the last book that the person ever buys, right? Where I buy it and go, oh man, that was a really good story. Cool. And then you left things that would naturally lead into more, kind of like when you watch like the A-Team or Knight Rider or any episodic show that kind of was like the mission of the week, right? But then there might have been an overarching plot that got you to the villain at the end of the season, right? But there was things happening, and there'd be a problem, you'll solve it, you'll check out the hook while the DJ revolves it, and then you're right at the end, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that you should be able to pick up the second or third book in someone's series and read that as a standalone story, that you could go back to the first one and read it, could go to the second one or read them out of order, but you're still picking up an overall arc. And I know that's harder than just being like, okay, I'm cutting straight across and giving you the first book that leads directly into the second book because it's a cliffhanger and I haven't finished my story and it won't be done till the third book, right? Or fourth book or fifth book, right? Hello, Phil. How you doing? Yes, I seen your red Sting, your NWO Sting costume. But I'm the Crow, you know, somewhat the OG, you know, that's how it is. And so, yeah, like, I really wish that creators would think about that a bit more. I've actually kind of revamped and restructured what I was doing because it was bothering me so much that the people I was buying stuff from were actually taking so long to do what they were doing, right? To get, like, do you know what I mean? Like, in some scenarios, 10 years are going to go by or more before you get a 4-issue arc completed for some of these creators, right? Which is friggin' wild. Yeah. But like I said before, I don't know if you were here for it before, Henry, but like that book didn't fund as well as the last one or the one before it. Right? And it's not due to the quality of the work. I'll tell you that for free. And those books should be going up. Those books should be, you know, going up in sales and reader base. They shouldn't be dropping down the way they are. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to see, right? He does have a ton of experience. He's actually, you know, a really good artist, and I like what he does. I like what he does. But that doesn't change. What? When they aren't going up? Can you pay me to tell you when they aren't going up? Well, they aren't. Is that not true? Are numbers lying to me? Am I seeing their books not getting the same numbers that they were getting before and selling less and making less money? Am I missing something? Am I missing magical money somewhere where their books are selling better than they did the one before and the one before that and the one before that? Am I missing that somewhere? I'll wait. Somebody tell me that I'm completely wrong and Wraith of God 3 sold way better, made more money than Wraith of God 2. No? Okay. Yeah, like even Graham Nolan's books aren't selling as well as they were. And he's consistent, and he's getting his books out on a, you know, very regular basis, you know. Oh, he said why. He's asking why. Oh, yeah, no, so listen, I'll tell you anything for free. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. I do find it very interesting, because you would think with the reach and some of these big channels that should be growing and expanding. Well, here's the thing. Even if, let's just say they weren't growing, but they were a flat line, right? So if a few people dropped off and a few people came back on, right? The sales should, at the bare minimum, be somewhere around the same. Right? Somewhere around the same. But, like, I agree, Henry. I agree, the economy has been shit for years. But if you really liked, like, say you're just a big fan of Aaron Lopresti, right? Big fan. I'm only going to buy Aaron's book. Right? He puts out a new book, I only buy his book. If that's the only thing I can afford, if money is tight, and I really like Wraith of God, then you shouldn't see the same dramatic drop off, right? And I think part of the problem with it is, instead of a lot of these people being comic fans, they are culture fans. And they feel like they are supporting something for the culture, not for the books, right? And so those people, the culture people, are going to be the first ones to leave, right? They're not here, like, they're not your audience, right? Like, they're not fans of your work. They don't want to read your books. They don't go, oh my God, I wish I could get a Magic Cop shirt, you know, or can I get that, the People ash can or whatever, right? They're not fans of your work. They're fans of a movement or a culture, right? So they're supporting that up until they're no longer concerned with the culture, right? Or that aspect of it, right? So a lot of those people, no matter where you are in the pyramid, your sales fall off, right? Because they weren't readers. They weren't your fans to begin with, right? And it's kind of the same thing for, well, like the same thing when all that Dungeoneer shit happened, right? A lot of those people lost a huge chunk of their viewer base because it wasn't their viewer base to begin with, right? It was Ethan's, right? So when you went from having 150 or 200 people watching your stream down to 40 or 50, it's because those 100 and some people who took off weren't your fans, right? Like, they were around for it, but when you weren't part of that fan base anymore, the main fan base, you found that out really quickly, and your views cratered, you know. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's well, yes, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're still there, that's because you were actually a fan, right? The other ones were only because, you know, say for if you're talking about Rini, for example, because she was on Kings, because she did that stuff, so she had that seat at the table. But once she is no longer at the table, they stay back at the big table. Those people just stay watching Ethan. They were Ethan's fans. They were never Rini fans, right? That's just that was the hard reality for those guys, right? Like, just straight up, right? Like, they were like, oh, you know, guys like us still go and watch Phil's, you know, and Brandon and stuff like that, right? But a lot of other people don't, right? So they weren't Phil fans or Zaid Comics fans, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, right? And so that's the kind of thing, right? And excuse me. And so, yeah, so a lot of that stuff is just nonsense to people, right? And it's just a huge waste of everyone's time, and you weren't building up your fan base, right? Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, build your channel, build your channel, build your channel," and it's like, okay, yeah, build, do that, build your channel. Just don't hashtag it. Don't, you know, don't ride the coattails and then be surprised when they're swept out from under you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was the hard lesson that a lot of people learned. And there's still a ton of people who are like, why don't I have a seat at the table? And it's like, bitch, it ain't your table. It never was. Right? You build your own fucking table. Like, stop, you know, stop making your excuses or your success, or lack thereof, based on someone else's table. Right? Like, and I think that's where a lot of people got twisted, right? Like, where they were just like, oh, well, if I get on the big show, that's gonna mean success. And I'm like, if your book's no good and they don't talk about you or have you on the show and you're not part of the thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter at all. It's just how it is, you know. That's all. That's all. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. You know? It's very, very interesting. Well, what's funny is I almost went to Tampa that time. Well, I mean, but that's part of the problem, though, is a lot of those people do not want to put in that work. And the people who have put in that work still have a strong following, right? Like that's the thing. If you've seen some of the people who are like, oh, well, you know, I'm not gonna cut myself off from it or whatever. But also have been like, I'm just doing my own thing. Those people have built, like the whole YouTube thing's a grind anyway, right? Like anybody who's successful, you know, and has 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers, whatever it is, they all say it's going to take you 3 or 4 years to even get any traction, right? That's just the way that shit works, right? There's not a ton of people who start a channel on Tuesday and by Wednesday have 10,000 subs. You know? Yes, putting on this face paint is a grind, I agree. But I make it work, Phil. I make it work. That's all that matters. You know, you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. You know, you got to sell the glitz. You got to sell the glamour. You know, you got to tape up the mitts. You got to go for it. You know, but yeah. What to tell you? Listen, you have to go. Listen, Phil, if you're not going to go for it, if you're not going to do the bullet holes, if you're not going to do the ring, what are we doing here? You know? You're trying to look, see, and Phil rolls in here. He's like, I'm going to do the crow next year. Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. Next year I'm going to do the mask, Phil. I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. You going to do the crow, I'll do the mask. See how that works. Mm-hmm. You know? But yeah, also, yes, my apologies to you, Phil. I'll just say it, like, you know, my apologies to you. I had no interest in doing the jelly bean or the shell bean or whatever thing on your channel. Like, I just didn't want to. It's just like I'm like, do I want to wear this gimmick out? Do I want to run this thing into the ground, or would I just rather? Yes, I blame Angela too, because out of nowhere she just kind of was like, "Do you want to go on Phil's?" And I said to her, I said, "No, I don't. I don't want to do that." And then she's like, "Yeah, but it would be fun." And I was like, "Would it?" Right? Like, you know. And I said, I was like, I don't want to grind it into the ground, or I don't want to wear out the bit. Like, if I pull it out once, I keep getting a hair in my mouth. I was like, if I do it once in a while, it's kind of funny. Like, Andy seen it and thought it was funny. Shelby has seen it and sent me little screen caps from it and stuff like that. So it's done what it was supposed to do, right? And so, yeah, like my thing is like I'm just like, I said to her, I was like, yeah, I'm not really into it. Oh yeah, but you know. And then she was like, oh, they want you to come on. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's like it's nothing, you know, nothing against you or Brandon or anything like that. Like you guys a lot, you know, whatever. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, I don't think that's necessary. Like, you know, I was like, it's just, I didn't see any value in it, right? Like, for anyone involved. Like, you know, that was the thing. I was like, I just don't see any value in it. I didn't think it was a value add to the show in any way, right? Yeah, she should be. She really should be. Like, it's, you know, it's unfortunate, Phil. It's unfortunate that we both have to deal with this kind of nonsense, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know why I'm on that sumo show. Like, out of nowhere, just, hey, do you want to do the sumo show? I'm like, I guess so, sure. We'll give it a shot. You know, I'll roll in here. You know, see how it goes. See what's up. You know. But people like it, so it's fun. Like, cause like I was watching sumo stuff the whole time. Like, I mean, like a year ago or something. I think I sent Sumo a sumo stream. Like, you know, because he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've got this on in the background." You know. But yeah, that kind of stuff is just like, it's something different, right? And it's like, you can't fucking do this comic shit into the ground 24/7, right? You have to have some fucking other interest in your life, some other break of entertainment. She can't handle it. Who's flirting? Not me. She just says things that put people in a weird spot, right? You know, and you know, like she says, like, you know, hey, can you make that bigger? And I say, hey, you got to rub it a little bit. That's, you know, is that flirting? Guess I have to rethink that. You know, hey Tate, what's going on? Yeah, like, I don't know. It's a very bizarre situation, right? Like, all that stuff. Yeah, got to give it a firm handshake. I agree. I like the cut of Emo Trash's jib. You know what I'm saying? I do. You know. But yeah, like, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. I find I want to touch my eye, but I'll get this stuff over my hand. It's itchy. You know when you get an itchy eye? You know? It's bizarre. And my glasses have been here this whole time. You know? So I'm like squinting to see the chat. It's incredible, the whole thing. I'm not gonna touch my face. I'm gonna, after the stream is over though, I'm super gonna wipe this shit off. Like immediately. It's driving me to drink. You know what I'm saying? You know? But yeah, I think I am gonna call it. I think I've been sitting here for 3 hours, literally just vamping and going, you know, with zero, like literally I turned this on because I was bored. I was like, what am I gonna do tonight? You know? Didn't seem like much was happening. I was all dressed up, nowhere to go. You know? I mean, did you really learn anything tonight? Like, you know? Yeah, well, you have a good night, Emo Trash. I'll say good night to everyone else as well. You know, if you've learned anything here tonight and found anything informative, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share it out in social media. Tell your mom about it. You know? Oh, yeah. All right, see, and then I'll do this. I'll go over here, like, and end the stream, like, in a semi-normal way. Right? Like, let's see here. What we got?
I am not that bad. I ain't got the Japanese. Maybe order some Chinese. To die.
All right, let's get straight to the biscuits. At 0800 hours this morning, an American soldier was eaten by a Nazi dinosaur.
That's a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
No, Claire, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Try thinking first before you open your mouth.
Women.
What do you mean a blaze of glory? What the hell is that supposed to mean? You know? Like when I'm sitting here going, there's no blaze, there's no glory. You know, like am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to like John Woo it out behind me here, you know? Listen, I like a firm handshake. That's the way I like it. Be like John. Am I talking someone off a bridge? Like, do I want them not to commit suicide? Am I going to be that John Bon Jovi? Or am I like, oh, we're halfway there, Bon Jovi? You know? Take my hand and we'll make it, I swear. Firm handshake. Right under there. Living on a prayer. Yeah, you know. Oh. You know, Gina works the diner all day. She works for a man. She brings home her pay for love. Ooh, it's tough. You know? Anyway, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. What a time to be alive.
Shem will be right back after these messages.